Norms. An alumna of Punjab University and Himachal Pradesh University, she holds an MBA in Finance and HR and is a UGC NET JRF awardee. Her professional journey includes rich teaching experience at the University of Delhi and research fellowship at FMS, along with industry exposure as a probationary officer with the State Bank of India. A prolific scholar, Dr. Sharma has published extensively in ABDC listed and Scopus Index journals, including Economic and Political Weekly, Vision Journal of Economic Studies, and Management Review Quarterly. Her research spans banking stability, financial risks, private equity, and volatility dynamics with several ongoing projects supported by national bodies such as MGNCRE, ICSSR, and DST. She also contributes to curricular development, finance lab establishment, and academic mentorship, and has been an invited speaker for numerous FDP workshops and national conferences. Beyond her achievements in finance and management, Dr. Sharma current research policy engagement, particularly in women entrepreneurship, inclusivity, and capacity building, offer valuable insight into how ICT can become a transformative force for gender equity in education and society. We are honored to have her with us today. We look forward to her enriching perspective on the intersection of technology, gender sensitivity, and educational empowerment. We welcome Madam. You can please take over.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the warm welcome.
Yes, definitely.
All right. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Audible.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, madam. And I was just facing some internet connectivity issues, and hopefully they are sorted now. So I will just begin my lecture now, and thank you so much for inviting me as a resource person to this to this to this workshop, in fact. And I would just want to, sort of introduce how I'm going to, sort of sort my lecture. So my lecture really talks about the contemporary issues in digital transformation, specifically in the higher education sector. And I would like to specifically speak about much of which happens, with us these days, and something that we all are going through, and that is the change management in the digital transformation. So how we manage that and how we should be managing it. So my lecture really talks a bit about that, and towards the end, I will just be, focusing more about the challenges that we as teachers face and how we can overcome them. Anywhere you feel you can, sort of stop by, and maybe you can even put forward your viewpoints as well. So moving on, so initially I just would want to, start with a with a very relevant line from one of the founders of HP, since I am a business and finance faculty. And I also believe that change is, as we say, it's inevitable. So I want to talk about the changing landscape, which says that, wherein the HP, co-founder said that the pace of change is so rapid that the ability to change has now become a competitive advantage. So this is where we all need to sort of realign our existing theories, how we used to teach and how we sort and organize our lectures. So we have to sort of, accept that change. And that is, the beginning of my lecture. Now, if you look at, I just feel this has not really come properly. Okay. If you look at, the human capital factory, as I always like to call this, so this has come from a paper by Harrell Gorst, called as The Curse of Education. And it talks about, how very initially, if you, think of, you think of the old economists, they used to think of people or as just human factories. So if you, sort of just think of them as, a sort of labor, people who sort of are just part of a labor, and they are sort of making a resource or making or doing some productivity. In that sort, we could think of, you just visualize people as, or students for that matter, as human capital. So here we would have content providers where we as teachers would be there. Then our classes would be one of the assembly liners, and then we would add value. And ultimately we would be catering to something that you call as a marketplace. So he mentions, the students and the people as human capital. Now, what is the result of such a human capital? It is that, here, wherever these schools exist, or wherever this thought of an education exists, it brings us, or it brings out students which are completely or uniformly patterned articles, just like articles we find in factories. And what is the ultimate objective of conferring education? That is clearly, it is defeated. So, that objective of conferring education, of knowledge creation, of bringing out individuals who can question the existing theory, that here this human capital objective really fails into it. So there is where, I want to throw more light. And metaphorically, if you see it, I just found this from one of the blogs of the Chinese manufacturing industry, where they're making, dolls of humans. So if you look at, metaphorically, if you see it, it'll just look, all the students would just be the same. And because you're, feeding them the same thing, and they just look like, things coming out, or, products coming out of factories. So what is the purpose of education? One, of course, we all know is to create knowledge. And maybe where we are forcing, or maybe we're at least creating that sort of this thing in mind of the students, that yes, we want to think, and we want to sort of process a certain information and think about it differently, and we want to innovate. So yes, one of the very bigger purposes of education had always been about knowledge creation, about information processing, about thinking of a problem differently. It had always been about skill development, and then even having or developing fulfilling personal identities. So this has always been the purpose of education. But if we think of humans, or we think of students as human factories, then of course this entire purpose of education really gets defeated. So it was only after the mid century that it was thought of, yes, that students and people can be, they can be developed, skills can be developed, and they can think and they can solve problems. Before that, it was just that they were thought as of just something as a labor which can just produce certain products. So um, so what is our role here, and where does our role stand? Our role stands in shaping minds. It stands in building leadership among these students. And how is just to make them or prepare these students for the unexpected moment. Now, in the last decade, we have seen that these unexpected moments have been many, and there have been many, many disruptions. And what are these disruptions? So I'll be talking about this in my lecture. One, of course, a very big disruption has been definitely the COVID-19. And we are going to, then talk about how during this time the shift took place. So our role as academic leaders should be to prepare our students for that unexpected moment, where, they should be more resilient, and they should come out of that more victoriously. Now, when we focus on the methods that we, usually use in classrooms, and, the sort of methods that I have also been using in my classrooms, I sort of try to, put them under two they mainly under two categories. One is where it's more trainer and participant oriented, and the other side is where how much of learning effectiveness it has. So within that framework, if you look at the trainer oriented method of learning, which is only one sided lecture or a monolithic way of just giving a dialogue, or sorry, giving a one sided lecture, is always it always yields lesser learning effectiveness. But on the other hand, if you look at the more participant oriented sort of a lecture, it will give you where you have assignments and you have more curriculum and relevant projects, that is more participant oriented. If it is just alone only that, yes, that will also not lead to a lot of learning effectiveness. So where is the effectiveness high? It is high where you give them certain problems to solve, where you give them certain games, where you sort of spark their interest, where you give them more role plays, where you give them exercises. Now, the question is, where in all this does the online, the digital learning or the ICT learning fit? Because if we say if it is lecture, then yes, in a one-way lecture, we can always record a lecture, put it on the MOOC, and it will be available to our students. If it is just an assignment based, then it's more real time. The student can go and just work on a job real time and get the result ultimately. And if so, within an online, we need to question where is the blend. So that is what we need to look for right now. So what's an ideal pedagogy? And if I look at an ideal pedagogy, it definitely really starts with two things. One is what I call as learning, and the second is teaching. Now, learning, teaching, I've always felt in it's I know we all teachers somewhere when we think that we have to impart knowledge to somebody, there's a sense of arrogance in all of us, and we always so teaching I feel is always arrogant. But if we look at learning, and uh, whose learning are we talking about? Isn't we who are learning along with students all the time? So yes, we are learning, and we are also learning along with students when they're asking us questions, and while we are delivering knowledge, we are gaining more knowledge. So for an average lecture of 3 hours, you're probably preparing for 6 to 7 hours. So that's your average amount of preparation that goes to sort of teach a class of 30 to 40 or 50, whatever is the appropriate size. So with that sort of approach, the ideal pedagogy definitely comes where you're also learning. So in the digital framework, how do you think you can learn? Is it just teaching? Is it learning? How can we adapt to learning within that digital framework? So what is the ideal solution? So having to question that, the ideal solution is you're not learning, you're not really teaching, but you are facilitating. And how are you facilitating? You're facilitating both physically with a face-to-face interaction, and you're also facilitating digitally, right? So it's a blend of both, which I want to highlight here. And because if we talk about the learning effectiveness, just as I showed you in the previous graph, that learning effectiveness will only come when you are thinking and when you're acting both with an online presence, and you're doing that with an offline presence too. Now, how with an online presence? I'll give you some examples. One we'll do within the class itself, and within the lecture itself. And physically, of course, we've been doing this for many years, most of us, and we know that how traditionally also the knowledge has been imparted in a physical manner only, and that is definitely is the way to go about it. So let's talk a bit about disruptions in education that have happened in the past. So, while I was preparing for the lecture, I also wanted to know, because we mentioned higher education. So I just wanted to know historically how this whole concept had evolved, and how the disruptions have happened in the last few years. So if you look at the past disruptions that have happened, and we talk about disruptions in the education. So let's historically see how higher education evolved. So if you look at historically, it was sort of somewhere, if you trace it back to ancient Greeks. Greece is where this whole system of academies, of course, in the Indian knowledge system, this whole system of learning from the guru always existed. But in a more formal setup, yes, there's a mention of certain institutions in Greece where we can trace back the higher education system too. And till, after the next 14 years, there was a system where the higher education was only for a very few people. So physically, they used to come, learn from the teacher, whoever used to come, and the teacher would always speak, and that was the only way of learning. So this first disruption was when the printing press was invented. And in that sense, the printed books was, it was seen as a very first precursor of what you call as distance learning today. And that actually just transformed a society at that time. So there was an industrial revolution going on at that time, and that entire society was transformed because industrial revolution required certain domain specific, certain skills, certain foreign languages, and certain skills that had to be developed. So those kind of knowledge then started coming with those printed books. But then even in printed books, it was not a proper pedagogy that was followed. It was not a it was not a content specific. It was just a certain sort of topic that was explained a bit more in detail. Then in 1961 happened this second disruption, where there was a open university in 1961, which was in UK, and they started their first correspondence learning through mail and on TV. And that was the first time when the interactive TV was interactive TV was used as a medium to impart knowledge. So the medium sort of changed there. So from the printed medium, it then also shifted to, matlab, it was complemented by a TV medium or a mail medium. And then came the third disruption, which was when there was an arrival of education. So arrival of internets within the education. So within the arrival of internet just with the arrival of internet within the education system, that marked as a third period of disruption, and that was a major disruption. So, slowly, if you see, around 2000 was the dot-com bubble when a lot of internet firms coming up in US, UK, and there was in practically every field there were, the dot-com companies had started coming up. So same was happening with the education sector also. However, very late, after the dot-com or after the, early millennium, the 2000, era, it was in 2008 when the MOOC term was coined, and that was when, there was actually a main idea behind called as connectivism and connective knowledge, and that is where this fellow called as Dave Cormier of University of Prince Edward Island in Canada, he coined this term, and he thought that he wanted to sort of connect and spread connective knowledge. And there is where this first term came up, which was called as the first MOOC. And this MOOC was first transformation. It was a major transformation because here there was an ample use of social media. There was blogs, there was forums. At that time, Facebook existed. There was a blog called as Second Life. There was Wikipedia. So there was so many ample use of several social media applications also, which also continues to happen today. Like there are certain discussions about which the students then go on to social media, Twitter or X, and they'll discuss it over there. If there's a problem or there's a question that is sparked within the classroom, they'll go to the social media and discuss it. So it's relevant even today. So yes, there was a MOOC which was there, where there were students who were separated by space, and they were separated, uh, and there was no physical interaction. And then came another idea, which was, yes, you are separated by space, but you're also separated by time. That means you can do a course which is at your own pace, and you can learn according to your own schedule, not according to any other schedule. So that was another disruption that came within the MOOCs as well. It's called as the SPOCs. But yes, that was a transformation that happened. So what do you understand by this transformation? So if you look at transformations, not only particularly in the education sector, but digital transformations like these that have happened in the past decade, uh, if transformation comes just mainly by four things. It comes, one, due to just the technology, where you are implementing new digital tools, you're implementing new systems, and you're implementing newer ways of doing the same activity. Then you're also redesigning a workflow, and you're achieving higher efficiency as well. And then you're upskilling the entire team as well. where now the team understands that, okay, just like in e-governance, you understand there's an upskilling happening. Every time
Right.
there's a new portal like a Samarth coming up, we are given a whole workshop over it, how to use it, how to become more friendly. Like in our university, we also have an e-filing system where every time there's a new change, then we have to go about understanding that new system, and we have to sort of adapt to that. And then so this sort of creates a very positive culture within a setup, and that sort of fosters innovation. It sort of fosters a lot of agility. So there is where I want to talk about the change management that's happening. So if it's digital transformation within the education sector, but it's always coming from what you call as a change, and that change needs to be accepted. Now, here I'd like to point out and just, sort of maybe bring about a small story, a book. I don't know how many of you have read this book, but it's a very interesting book by Spencer Johnson, and it's called as Who Moved My Cheese. So I always tell all of my students to read this book as a first, as the first thing that they come to my class always, is that it talks about change management. And as we say, the change is happening every day, it's happening every second. So it talks about four little people. There are two mouse, Sniff and Scurry, and there are two small people, Hem and Haw. So every day they go inside a maze, and they go for a block of cheese, and they keep finding that block of cheese through that same way every day. So every day they keep going, and Hem and Haw also keep going, and Sniff and Scurry also keep going. And one day, since they are going every day, they keep eating the cheese vanishes. So one day the cheese vanishes. Now Sniff and Scurry and Hem and Haw are four different people, and you see how they are reacting to change and how they are adapting to changes. Is what we need to see here. So Sniff and Scurry are very smart. So they keep on moving, and then when the cheese sort of runs out, they go and they quickly find, and they react immediately, and they find new cheese. And they are very quickly adaptable. Okay, and they take no time to sort of find a new maze. They find new places to find cheese, and they are sort of happy in their new space then. Then there is, Haw, and he's this little guy here that's shown in the presentation. And Haw is a bit skeptical, and he's fearful because, as most of us, we are very comfortable and we are always in our comfort zone. And for moving forward and adapting to change becomes a little difficult. So he is a bit skeptical, and slowly when he feels that, okay, there is no cheese, and ultimately I will not get any cheese if I don't change. So he overcomes his fears, and he sort of goes out his comfort zone, and then he eventually finds new cheese and becomes happier. And then there is one fellow that is him, and he never overcomes his fears. He never gets out of his out of his comfort zone. He becomes very arrogant. He says, okay, what if there's no cheese? There'll be more cheese that I'll get in a few days. And he just keeps waiting, and he's just very arrogant and complacent, and he's not very willing to adapt to any sort of change. So what's the handwriting on the wall after this? The idea is that change will happen. What is the essential part? What is the learning from here? Is that we need to anticipate it, and we need to be more adaptable to it. We need to change ourselves, and there is when we'll be able to enjoy that change. So this transformation that we have seen in the last decade is just a part of this change itself. The change that happened, yes, most of us did not anticipate it. We did not anticipate that something like this is going to happen. But when I was talking to you about disruptions that have been happening in education in the past few years, you will understand that this disruption that came after COVID-19 was not something that was new. It was a disruption that probably wouldn't was a very big one, but wasn't something that a lot of people didn't expect. Yes, disruption had to happen, not at this scale, is what I mean to say. Right. So what we need to do is not sit right now and think, okay, now it has happened, and how are we going to move online, and how are we going to start more digital, apply our use our more digital skills. you have to adapt, and we have to sort of change, and then only then we'll be able to enjoy the fruits of this change and the fruits of this digital transformation. And then again we'll have to be ready. So when this whole concept of online learning and things came up, then the whole a new concept of AI came. So then there's a user generated content, there's a generative AI. Now so many things have been coming up. So how do we apply it? How do we use it? So unless you have reacted to the initial change of that digital transformation, it will be difficult for us to really adapt to this change which is happening at such a fast pace. So what is digital transformation? Definitely, it's just not about about just implementing new techniques and implementing new technical skill, but it's also about how people work, how they think, and how even people collaborate digitally. And most of us, I was doing a study and I was looking at some of the research papers, and it actually mentioned, one of the research papers mentioned that in most of the organizations also, if you see today, 70% of the digital transformation initiatives fail. It's not due to that, that transformation was not appropriate. It is because there is a resistance, there is a poor change management schedule that's followed. So, there's a big gap between what the technology is capable of and what is our human adaptability. So once there is a blend between the two, only then that will be able to determine the success and failure within the of these transformations in today's landscape. Okay, so moving on. I'll be talking a bit about the this whole concept of the digital change, and I just want to, highlight one thing here that is when I'm talking about ICT tools and talking about digital transformation. So I really mean all the hardware, software, all the networks supporting learning like LMS, Moodle, Canvas, MOOCs, all the virtual labs, the video conferencing, digital libraries. JNU has a very, very nice digital library right now. So I can sit at a certain place and access any paper that I want to. All the content repositories, even the adaptive learning platforms, the mobile apps, the analytical tools. So all of this becomes a part of the digital transformation. And yes, they are all a part of the higher education system as well. So, since I'm a faculty in business, and I always like to pick up certain standardized models. So there's a model that was developed by Cotter, and it is an 8-step model for digital change. And it sort of talks about how we can, drive these technology initiatives and how we can bring them to the forefront. And many times we see that at a lot of scales, there are students who are not willing to take change and adapt digitally, or to adapt, or transform digitally. uh, on the other hand, there are certain faculty also, even as teachers, we sometimes are a bit resistive, and we don't want to adapt. So how should this model sort of work in that sort of scenario? So, the idea that this model really creates is that you have to create a sort of sense of urgency. And I'll give you an example. So, there's a new tool that a lot of students today use, is called as Power Power BI. So if you look at Power BI, it's something that we probably didn't learn when we were growing up, and it's just come in the last couple of years only. And it creates very fancy dashboards and something like maybe a smarter way of presenting data and highlighting data. So, every time I used to put this forward in front of the students that yes, you need to learn Power BI. None of them did, and I always used to ask that, in the couple of next classes, used to ask them that what about the status of Power BI courses? Are you doing them, or are you interested? So nobody did, and there was no reaction from the students. So I sort of had to, move to the first part of this model where it said that you have to create a sense of urgency. So what did I do? I called a fellow for a talk within the premises, and he was talking about how your resume should be, and how you should make a nice resume so that it gets shortlisted by a lot of people or companies coming for placements. So, one thing that the fellow said to the students was that you have to add a lot of skills. So, unless you are putting a lot of skills in your CV, your CV will not get shortlisted. And he said one of the most important skill today is to learn Power BI. Now, when that person said is that you will not get shortlisted for a company for your interview if you don't have Power BI within your resume, then it sort of created a sense of urgency that yes, we need to learn it. Okay, so this is like a very maybe a sort of a different example, but yes, once there that urgency started creating, then they started learning, and we did a collaborative learning, like because I was also learning that tool for the first time, so I learned. Then in the next class they used to come with their problems and I used to sort of discuss with them, and together we were able to learn that tool. And ever since I've been using it, it's a very interesting tool, very nice to look at data and to create certain nice visual contents from data. So yes, it was that that urgency was created. And then we I also built teams among them that they can work on certain projects, and they sort of formed what you call as coalitions. So that kind of helped them and developed that acceptability to change digitally. So yes, the first step to have that transformation is that you need to understand. If you don't understand, you have to make the other person understand that yes, there is a sense of urgency, and you need to transform. Unless you transform, you'll become redundant. It's not a sort of fear, but yes, you have to make them aware about the competitive threats that are there. You have to make them aware that they need to possess a competitive advantage, and unless they do not have that, there'll be a big gap between what the industry would want and what they have within their knowledge system. So, so while we think of this digital change as bringing about that sense of urgency, we also need to have developed that if there is a sort of digital transformation, or there are certain digital initiatives that we are taking within our system or within our organization or within my school, if I take any sort of change, then I have to develop a vision, and then I need to tell everybody about a vision. Another example I'll give you that there was a website that we currently had, and if you go to the website, that's pretty, because it really hosts a lot of schools, and it has to have a certain very set standard or a very set framework. Now, when that website for specifically a management school or a business school, the the companies who come, they look for those fancy things. They'll have to have a nice brochure. They need to have a fancy website. So what I did was that I communicated to all the members of my team that yes, we need to develop a fancy website at least. And yes, it was slightly difficult because we were going outside the set system, right? There's a website that already exists. Now we want a more fancy website. It's not possible. How do we do it? So my vision was to yes, have a good, very informative and very user-friendly website. So then we got along with some of the students, and they designed a very nice website. Some of the students were very good with IT, and they developed that I sort of explained to them what I'm looking for, and they developed that website, and they were able to sort of frame that website in the required manner. Now, of course, in a couple of weeks, we are going to roll out that website, and I'm very happy about that. That change has happened, and everybody accepted that change. Yes, there was slight resistance, but yes, eventually, I think everybody understood that what I was trying to communicate. That we there were certain concerns about which I made them aware, and now the website is clear and it's more transparent, and it's well understood. So these little changes that you have in your mind, you can communicate to your team, you can communicate to the members around you. And of course, you have to also show certain quick wins. Now that's a very, very important factor, because when you talk about quick wins, means once you're implementing a change, or once you're thinking of implementing a transformative change, you have to implement. And then whatever is happening, let's say you have certain analytics. Let's say if I have certain visitor analytics, I can quickly show that yes, once I change the website, there are higher visitors on my website. Now that's a quick win for me, right? And when that quick win comes in terms of statistics, it becomes even more stronger. So yes, that is the kind of quick wins we need to show and show people. uh, Even students will not be very willing to really adapt to smaller transformations, but yes, when you show them these quick wins, they'll definitely want to build on that change. And once this happens, it just becomes an integral part of culture. Once you're digitally transformed, once you are using a lot of newer online tools, it just becomes a part of your culture. And in the last few years, I have felt, even with myself also, that I have become more organized in my lectures. I have, if I'm teaching a course on valuation, I developed a course on valuation on Google Classroom in 2021 when the COVID was there. And after that, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And this time when I taught, the course has been so much enriched, because every time I'm adding new readings, and I have a very organized resource of Google Classroom where I'm just enriching my readings every time. You see, so that's how you it now. And after that, since I've been teaching that course for last 4 years, every time it gets enriched. Uh, it gives me a sense of pride in that yes, I'm doing that on Google Classroom. I'm sharing the material with students on Google Classroom. I'm sharing the readings with students on Google Classroom, and they know beforehand what I have to teach. My lecture is organized. So in that way, it's become a part of my classroom teaching now. So that has become an integral part. So it's anchored into my teaching. Now, since it's been anchored, it gives me that it's become a part of my way of teaching. So it's not something new that I'm doing. It's just become a part of the way I teach, right? So this is something that we all can do. Maybe make a nice set of readings on Google Classroom, share it with the students beforehand, and they'll also like to go online and read. And there are few new things that I've started, like for example, going to the Mentimeter and giving them new surveys. We'll do one today as well. So, that also just binds us more digitally, and then also creates a sense of like interaction with the students, which possibly is lacking when we are doing, like a offline teaching, because a core online teaching, right? So this I picked up from one of the research paper. I've put it towards the end in the reference if you want to see. And this research paper really talks about the various paradigms of teaching and learning online, and what is the task of student as well as teacher within that paradigm. So so if you look at so it really gives you the various paradigms, one from the student center, then from the teacher, and from the ICT way, like what is the ICT role in that sort of a paradigm. So the first paradigm here is a very you can say not an orthodox, but you can say a traditional way of teaching, where the student is passive learner, and it's just it's just based on that linear model of learning that I'll just discuss in a couple of minutes, and where the student just plays the information in the mind that the teacher is directly just going, so and giving, and the teacher is just the person who knows, and it's an accepted fact. Okay, so there it's just like a programmed thing. The teacher will come, speak, and that's it. So it's a very passive way of learning, and it's just called as it's based on the learning stimulus response way. Now, within this, what is the ICT role? It's just like a programmed ICT role. There is practically nothing that the student or the teacher would use. Even if they're using, it's just one way. It's just a very programmed way. Then the second is where there's a it's based on learning on connection and interaction with teacher. Now this is something that's very constructive. It has a very active subject. There is a lot of peer-to-peer interaction within the students, and the students is just not playing the information in mind. It's processing. So processing means understanding and also thinking where to implement. And here the teacher also is sort of an expert. Of course, we're all experts in our field, but they're also generating strategies how the learner should evolve. So they use, let's say, a lot of internet. They use virtual books also. Like I use a lot of ebooks. because practically you cannot own every book. So I use a lot of ebooks from the JNU library itself, and I also again use a lot of AI also. Sometimes in when I have to introduce smaller cases, and when I have to sort of build a summary of a case, I use AI there. And yes, this is another way of having to develop a nice interaction with students. And the third part here is the constructivism approach, which is based on the experience and interaction of again the teacher. And again, here the student again is an active subject. It builds upon whatever has been learned in the past, and again, there's a peer-to-peer interaction. And the teacher here is it's just helping students to build. So when we think about, I was just at a conference a couple of days back, and I spoke to a faculty who was from Madhubani in Bihar. So she told me that there are students who are first generation learners there. There are students who are first generation people literate there. So she said that it becomes very interesting, and it becomes very motivating for us as teachers, because we are facilitating for them to really build. And some of them are building their own Madhubani painting brands, and they have them on Instagram, and they have them on a couple of places. So the teacher's role there becomes very constructive. Okay. And they are using a lot of blogs. They're using even their personal spaces, they are using in that manner. And they're using a lot of shared personal spaces and interaction. So that is the kind of ICT tool that would be required when it's a more constructive approach, especially when we have to build entrepreneurs and we have to think about student getting incubated. This is the approach that is the best approach, again over there. Then is where the learning is based upon, it's based upon, it's like a community learning, and it's more ecological, it's more collective. And here the student decides how to learn. Now you see what's the difference between the first and the last approach. In the first, it's like the student is just not part of the learning process anywhere. You are just giving information one sidedly. But in this last approach, it is the student who will decide that this is how I need to learn. I will learn by doing things, I will interact, I will generate more knowledge, and then I will share. So that's again very project based learning, and it really proposes new kind of connections, and again it encourages very new sort of knowledge that is going to be created. So here is where even the social networks of the teachers are used. Again, personal networking spaces, even global contacts would work. So there are these various paradigms that have evolved over the years, and you choose which one of this would apply in your case and or would apply in my case. And it could be a blend of all four. It could be a blend of only of the first two, or it could be a blend of last two, or it could just be one of them. But yes, what I urge is to yes involve more use of the digital space there, the more use of ICT, and also gives students some sort of freedom to choose, and the freedom to sort of the way the student wants to learn. So, since we are going on this task of understanding the digital transformation, I would want you to just go to Mentimeter once, and I've shared the QR code. Just go on the QR code, and there are a couple of surveys that I have, I have run there. And if you go on this QR code, it'll ask you a couple of questions, which I'll just put across here. 1 minute. Since I decide, I'll just open this 1 minute.
Yeah, ma'am, we are here. Which is the most used digital tool? That is the first question.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll just also put your answers back in this as well. Just give me a moment. Actually, I was facing some problem today. Okay, wait. I need to sort of go to my Gmail.
But the control is there in your hand, I think.
Yes, yes.
After
I just
first
wanted to
question.
show you how you all are responding. So
Yeah. After one question, if you allow, then only we can
yeah,
go for
I'll
the
just do
next
that.
question.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you're all responding. I hope you're all responding here
I have responded.
because I don't see any responses.
So, screen time is more.
Okay, I think 5 of you have responded. Okay. So which is the most used digital tool platform? Can you see my screen, the Mentimeter screen?
Yeah, ma'am. We can.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
the first is I think most of you have answered as Google Classroom. And I urge others also to start responding. Okay. So most of you, I think, have, and you're right, that the most used digital tool platform in higher education, in Indian higher education today is Google Classroom. One, of course, I think it's very easy to use. And second, I think it is also easy to use for the students as well. Okay, and there's a greater access since we all have Gmail, access to Gmail. Okay. Coming to the next question, which digital, okay, I think, are you able to see the next one? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first one was how many minutes of safe screen time is recommended for college students per learning? Okay, I'm afraid, but to tell you that it's actually 40 to 50 minutes. So you see, there's a bit of apprehension in all of us where we feel that it's 20 to 30 minutes, but it is 40 to 50 minutes, after which, yes, their attention span dips down a bit, and yes, they are not very much attentive on the screen. So that's the first question. Second, we just saw where which is the most digital tool platform, which is, you're right, it's Google Classroom. Okay, this I wanted to know from all of you. Um, Again, you can respond here. Okay, all right. Others may also respond. How many of us are here? Were you able to get the QR code correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am. We are able to answer.
It's 2817.
Yes, we answered, madam. We answered.
So, okay. So it's too many WhatsApp groups. Okay. Screen fatigue, yes, a bit. But one thing that I have done with my screen time today is that I have put those controls. So the moment it goes like 10 minutes or more than on a certain app, then it sort of, sends me a message that you are using this app too much. So you need to stop now. But I agree with almost of you, which is too many WhatsApp groups, and that is, I think, which really tires us digitally. Because, and once we have a group, then is an expectation of the students also that yes, since there is a group, anytime they will ask us something and we have to respond. I think most of you would agree. So that becomes a big issue. So most of the time, yes, we are just struggling with too many WhatsApp groups only.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the responses are we are getting here on the screen, but which is the correct one we are not getting. The survey is just in the form of bar graph.
Okay, so in the first is this is 40 to 50 sorry, just a minute. In the first question, it's 40 to 50 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what the research says. In the second, it's Google Classroom. You're all right. See, it's not right or wrong, it's just maybe what you feel. So I don't want to really test your knowledge or anything or give you any scores, but I just
Okay,
wanted
okay.
to, maybe interact through this and know what you think. And yes, the third, I agree. Here, of course, one thing that we all struggle with is just having to respond and be present digitally most of the time. Okay, so heading back, just 1 minute. Okay. So, so basically, what the idea is right now is that, what we have, I have tried to flow in is that, this whole system is very dynamic and it's been changing in the past few years. And we have understood that, yes, education is for the larger public good. And since they are for the public good, they cannot, every time adapt. Okay, they need to not adapt a lot continuously. But yes, since we are a system which is integrating with the external stakeholder demands, there is where the adaptation requires. Okay, and if that adaptation is digitally, yes, we'll adapt. If it's any physical adaptation we need to build, let's say it's an infrastructure, yes, we need to adapt to it. So we always understood कि ठीक है, जो public institution है वो तो जैसे बन गया पिछले कुछ साल में वो वैसा ही रहेगा. But yes, that sort of adaptation we need to understand, and we also need to adapt our minds also. Okay. So yes, we can say that higher education does influence this whole system development. And historically also, if we see har jagah, whenever it was a question of doing public good and maybe revamping the economies, everybody turned to the academic institution. They looked for answers from academicians. Maybe जहाँ पे training required थी, again they went to the academic institutions. So that means academic institutions are looked at for everything. So if they are looked at for everything, therefore we have a sort of pressure on us to become, yes, more competitive and to also cater our students to these what you call as quasi companies, which are more like they're very complex, they're very, very competitive. But so to speak, the dynamics also speak about it, and we have need to so that that higher education need to show its worth, not just develop internally but also cater to the external environment and the public stakeholders. Let me give an example here. When we say, and when we always say and we talk about disruptions, I, of course, since, in the business world, we every time say disruption, and we don't like to say innovation, but it's actually that disruption is just a way to innovate. And I would also want to point out here is that we need to really complement rather than just disrupt this system that we are having that had existed since last many years and through the evolution of education, and how we can complement. So I hope you must have all heard about the MIT's open courseware. Now, I have learned many things from that MIT's open courseware. And if you go to the MIT open courseware website, they have, I think they have a list of almost 2 to 300 courses and beautifully designed courses. You want to learn any concept conceptually, not really learn the newer techniques of it, not any strategies, but you want to learn a concept. Just go to MIT Open Courseware. They give you a very nice script also if you cannot keep up with the pace of the lecture that's going on. And how have they done it? They have just recorded the physical lectures that they're giving in class, just made the knowledge of their teachers accessible to the world. So you see how that is just not disrupting. It's not really disrupting, it's not interfering, it's just complementing the existing system. So this is what we need to think, that yes, if there is a system that we have been following since the last many years, let's just complement our newer learnings with it. Let's complement our newer innovations. Let's not really think that it's going to really completely put off the education system. It's going to बंद हो जाएगा हमारा academic institution. ऐसा नहीं होगा. It's just the complement that we have to think of. So initially we always thought that, and how it has always been like linear concept hota hai education ka, where we think that education really moves in a step by step process, and that is actually very right. If you think of online courses, have you ever thought that they have no prerequisites? They have nothing. They will just tell you, okay, you should know, let's say, basic statistics to learn a programming in R. But if you even don't know that, you can go and attend an online lecture. Nobody is going to stop you. But education was not designed like that. It was designed in a very step by step process, जहाँ पे incrementally, used to learn. So in the first year, first semester, there were some done basic courses. Then used to slowly graduate to higher levels of competency. And then finally, used to sort of fully engage them towards the third and the fourth semester and the fifth semester. So that is what has been sort of disrupted right now. What has been disrupted? That step by step process, that linear way of learning, that has been disrupted. So how can we fix that sort of gap? Now, we know, when a student comes to my class today, I know that there are 10 other courses that that student has already learned. Now, see, I cannot compete with that student. I cannot say, okay, you have learned this, now I'm going to teach you in a different manner. You are going to teach the way you've been doing. You are going to be giving out the knowledge in the way that you have done in the past. But yes, you can add more experiential learning experiences. You can add more project based there. You can integrate more projects into your curriculum, so that that relevance gap is not there, right? And that can be extended to the digital transformation technologies also. Like, today if I have to teach finance, I teach them certain optimization in Excel, but then I tell them that, okay, you can do the same thing if you know R. So they'll learn R in a month, and then they'll be doing what I taught them or the concept in R. And that would become their project on which I'm going to assess them. Right? So we have to leverage the existing things that we are going to do, but we can sort of, blend it with more project-based learning. So this is what one of the schools had done, engineering schools had done in UK, and it's called as the Olin School, where they sort of blended their project-based learning in the curriculum, and that became more relevant. That relevance gap also between the industry and between what the students are learning, that also was sort of done away with. So this is how, you can sort of leverage the existing knowledge, and you can just finish the relevance gap, or that you can fill up the relevance gap, not really finish, but yes, you can finish, or you can fill up that gap. Another example is about the University of Gothenburg, and they, in conjunction with the AI Sweden, they and the Swedish government, they have engaged in a lot of projects, both government, both non-government organization projects, and they sort of study and they collaborate with industry leaders and experts, and they conduct digital transformation research, and then they help how the Swedish government can then grow its GDP. Right? So these are newer things that they are doing. They are doing certain projects with AI, using generative AI, and then, engaging in these projects, how to develop or economically even grow a certain nation. So, in the end, maybe I'll just maybe want to discuss a few things. Really, it's not the end of the lecture, but also I would want to know from you maybe certain experiences that you have had once you were, trying to shift digitally. And I'll just share one of my experience also. Is that there's one question that all of this leaves us with, and that question is about it's just about not only gaining knowledge but also making a network. So what I realized in when it was 2020 and 21, when we were moving digitally, and we were just at very fast pace, we were moving into online classes. And what did we feel lacking? Yes, there were face-to-face interactions that were lacking. I just felt that what was lacking was the sense of connection. Now, what happens? We are giving knowledge, and the student probably, if we assume, and in a very basic setup, we assume that the student is also taking knowledge. There is a system of network that also binds knowledge. And once that knowledge and network go together, there is where that whole that knowledge really is created. So it's just not that knowledge that you are going to have solely, but also the network that you're going to create. Now that wisdom where you are integrating knowledge, you're assembling certain key people. That was a skill that, sort of lagged. So, when we think about network, what do you think? It comes to your mind as sort of a network, like a seamless, invisible web of people or trusted connections, which you sort of build through frequent interactions, you build through face to face interactions. And who binds that network? What is the one thing that binds that network? It's that trust. It's that trust which, binds that connections, it binds that network together. And how is trust perceived as? Trust is something that's very warm, it's something that binds us to people, it's warm, it's fuzzy. So basically that trust is we have to learn to trust digitally, because most of us, we have sort of built a facial familiarity and we say, okay, we have a trust in a person because we see that person. So it's a familiarity that comes with face, which builds sort of that trust. But without a face, connected to facts, we have to learn that way of really trusting. We have to learn that way of networking without having met physically or without having met face to face. So that sort of timelessness we need to learn. That sort of quality connection I felt was sort of lacking when we shifted into an online network. So, like humans, we've always seen that it's a boundary that we've drawn always, and we always see that we pick up clues from like the gender, and we sort of are biased in our mind. We take up visual clues, and we have certain social bindings into our mind, and we are always working and thinking of any person who enters into that room, and based upon what certain perceptions we've had in our mind. Now, with online, no, these things and these boundaries just completely blur away. So, for us to build that sort of a connection, that network of knowledge, is something that I think this civilization has yet to see. We're all moving towards it, and I know a lot of organizations which are completely online. They are completely virtually. They exist only virtually, and they are doing really well. But really doing well, earning profits, is that what we are really thriving for? So that's the question that we're all, I just want to, maybe put out to all of you, is that that's something that we just view from afar and we say, okay, that sort of trust, that sort of connection is something that we have to learn, and we are learning, of course, and we are learning to sort of trust digitally and building to, build that trust. So with our students also, somehow I felt that sort of connection didn't come when we shifted to online. Yes, that I believe. Yes, that I believe right now is not there because we are completely in a different mode right now. But when we talk about digital transformations, we have to understand that that sort of transformation will lead to certain issues. So just think of it maybe after the class, and maybe can have a chat also on it. So this is all about my lecture. I just want to, have certain. I had made certain slides. I think the speaker before me discussed some of the issues and contemporary issues that we all face regarding the connectivity when we are, teaching online, even about with teachers' readiness. So we have maybe in how we can address those issues. Maybe having mandatory ICT trainings, so continuous upskilling, and I'm sure like most of you are part of this program. It's one of the way to upskill yourself also, and maybe have a new perspective about the ICT and a new perspective about digital learning. Most of our students today are also worried a bit about security. So yes, we have to teach them, and we have to make sure that their data, whatever they are sharing, is safe. And we have to have that sort of system where we are very safe from the cyber attacks. And we also need to teach them a very ethical AI use. Just a couple of weeks back, I was going through certain project proposals, and it was very sad. I was thinking how I made my PhD proposal, and it was such a long time. 2012, I was sitting with 10 papers in my hand and 20 papers every day as to read. And then I used to make a project proposal. However, most of the project proposals that I was going through were all AI generated. So I didn't know how to assess a good student from a bad student because everything was all AI generated. Every proposal was AI generated. So for me, the only way to judge whether a student is good or not was not based upon the proposal. It was based upon whether it's AI generated or not. And you do come to know that. I think we're all smart enough. We know whether a proposal has been generated or a PhD synopsis has been generated through AI or not. I mean, you sort of do understand the language. So by now I've become really trained in understanding now how a project proposal will be drafted by AI and not by AI. So for me, I was interested only in that candidate's proposal who had not used AI at all. Right. So that sort of ethical use, I think we also have to teach to us.
And many online software are also available, ma'am, from
Yes.
which we can check easily that the content is AI or not. Actually, the content
Oh,
should be
right,
maximum
right,
from the
right.
student, because if the 80% is from the AI, what is the creativity of the student? That is the
Yes.
question.
So that creativity was not, that was completely lacking. And in fact, everywhere, wherever it was asked how you are going to, what is the research methodology, every student who had copied from AI had written mixed method approach. Everywhere you'll find this mixed method because AI, if you type research methodology, it'll give you a mixed method design. So that is
And
why,
actually, very less people are working with this qualitative analysis, qualitative methodology.
yes.
Most of them are going for the quantitative. So they are mentioning, but actually the work is not there. Okay.
Yes. So, yes, so we have to really sort of, tell them about and make them aware about, yes, it is going to collaborate, but you don't have to be dependent upon that kind of use of AI. Technical infrastructure is what we had faced. Yes, we need to have a very proper and dedicated IT team, and we are introducing sort of digital transformation at that level. But yes, at the academic level, I think even with a normal, decent IT team, just doing a basic, having basic maybe runtimes, it really works well. I mean, we have seen this in different universities I've seen. I've worked with a couple, and I've seen that this technical infrastructure really for an academic institution is more or less supportive towards digital learning. With student engagement, I think one of the major issues is low attention. You don't know what the student is doing. You don't know whether they're learning or not. So that is a part of motivation that you need to have. There's a lot of screen fatigue because they're constantly looking at the screen. So, how you can improve that is maybe have more gamification like micro learning tools and even more interactive tools. Like one way is to introduce Mentimeter. Then it could be any Kahoot quizzes or maybe have a two-way dialogue with the students. So that is one way that you can sort of increase student engagement. And
Ma'am,
yes,
one question is there on my mind that
yeah.
you have mentioned that Power BI data visualization tool, whether it is free.
Sorry, Power BI. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
ma'am.
you can access it. It is free.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So even now, even a lot of my students give exams with open books. So I create a sort of a very long case study where they are evaluated on several rubrics. So that sort of maybe newer techniques you can introduce so that integrity is there. They are sort of particular about the exams being proctored because in online we have seen that they were not sort of proctored many times and they were cheating and they were doing any other ways. So that sort of online cheating to protect from that, it's sort of difficult, to assess. So in that, maybe you can do a lot of rubric evaluation. There are certain parameters that you can give them on which you are going to assess. Right. So finally, maybe towards the end, let's just also we have to focus more on the digital well-being. So maybe just break schedules, don't go for very long classes if you're moving digitally, but even if you're moving in a more hybrid way where you are introducing maybe more digital tools in your routine physical classes, uh, sort of break the system. Maybe you can talk, maybe interact with them on one way and then go to the slide rather than just having all the slides, everything put together in the slides. So that could be one way of having more digital well-being. So that's it from my side. Um, Yeah, so one thing that I would want to share with all of you is about one of our students when we shifted to online. When I was talking about the connections and the face-to-face interactions that we don't have. So when we shifted to online, so there was one student who completely went off radar. So we were not able to connect to him, and he stayed in one of the very remote villages, and we were not able to connect to him, and he had no phone, no access to anything. And you see how you see, I would just want to sort of bring about the community participation here. So all the students got together and they approached me, and we discussed how we can help that student. So the students, they did a small crowdfunding, and every student, jitna bhi hota tha, they used to contribute, and they eventually bought him a phone from Amazon. Now the phone was there, the data had to be bought, so then they made sure कि उसमें there is a SIM in it and it has data. And then it was very difficult to track him, so we got all his we got his address, but it was not very particular. The address was not very specific. So then we had to find out certain students who lived in that area, and then we connected to them, and they were not even from our school, they were from other school. And then eventually we kind of had connected to that student, and then after that he was able to learn and do all his classes online. So that is the sort of connection, that kind of
Inclusion.
interaction and inclusion, of course, that they built online. And this is something that is a bit fearful, because I feel if we are only moving digitally and we are just learning digitally, that is one thing that that's going to be difficult to have, that sort of connection, that sort of network, that it'll be difficult to create. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions or anything that you want to say, maybe you can mention.
Hello, madam. Madam,
Yes.
we have talked about disruptions, interest connection, networking, and everything, and digital classes. But nowadays, so many colleges and schools are facing the problem of physical connections, and students are not interested to come physically in the colleges. It may be impact of COVID, it may be impact of all digital things. But what is the solution for that? If because there are some rules regarding the UGC and regarding attendance also, some criteria are also there. So what can be the solution for such things?
So, just as I discussed, maybe you can make maybe having more interactive classrooms, having classrooms which is not only teacher centric but also student centric, having more project based curriculum. And I don't know how many of you do it, or is it possible, but we have a sort of curriculum that we keep on revising every 6 months. So I don't think it's really possible for all of us to do that. But yes, see, there are certain innovations that we have to add on our own. So we can't really think and stick to how we were taught in the way we are going to teach our students. So you have to build and you have to sort of find out newer innovative ways. As I told you, you can introduce quizzes and surprise quizzes in class every time. It's very interesting. Every time I come and I give them a quiz in class, I share the Google link for a quiz, and they are scared, but they find it interesting also, because what they learned in the previous class, yes, it takes me 5-10 minutes to create a Google quiz, but they like it. Okay, so some sort of interaction you can have. Maybe you can introduce certain projects. Like I introduce a lot of projects in my class, maybe based upon environmental kuch, sustainability, or something, like maybe any problem you take and you have to see it from the environmental or ecological lens. So then they come up with newer ideas. This is how it could be done. So some problem you can give them and ask them to give you a solution maybe in the next class. So you have to build that kind of innovative techniques. And I always feel, I know most of us are just overburdened most of the time with our teaching loads and everything. But it's just a one-time exercise. So once it is prepared, it will stay for the next couple of maybe semesters or few years also. So that sort of exercise once done is going to be helpful. So once my project is done, now I just change or tweak the project a bit, but yes, I do sort of give them similar projects every time. And I can also see how over the years the students' participation, the students' interest changes, and how their answers change. So there are many things that we can, introduce here.
Ma'am, I think sir is saying that the policies are that there is attendance of 80% compulsory or
Mhm.
75%, and then the students are not coming because everything is online. I think he was trying to say that. So what do we do at that time,
Okay,
Yeah, exactly. That is the
Physical
question.
face to face. That's what I think he's trying to say.
Yeah,
I don't understand your question. Like, can you sort of repeat?
yeah, in
Uh,
universities,
Yeah.
uh,
Excuse me, madam.
we have 75% attendance mandatory like that.
Okay, right, right.
Actually, that is in the institution level, I think, or the university level. But I came to know that UGC is not emphasizing on the compulsory attendance, it seems.
No, so
Uh,
I understand, but what I am saying is that let's say even in a physical classroom, why can't you just introduce certain hybrid contents? Why can't you introduce certain project-based things into your class? Like we don't have any physical online classes right now. We're doing every class physically, but we are within my class. I give them Mentimeters many times. I give them quizzes every time. I give them more project based activities many times. So that's how you can integrate. It can't be solely that you are just relying on physical learning and you're giving them notes in class. Just force them to think. See, the idea is always that I tell my students also after the class. Now you should have one question in your mind that you're thinking of, and it should be you have to force them to think. That's how their creativity really comes out. Otherwise, if it's just a one-way delivery, I don't really understand how it is going to benefit because they have textbooks, they have loads and loads of online content. They can get a one-way delivery, I think, way in a different manner and with more realistic content in an online delivery. So with an offline classroom, make it more integrated with newer techniques like, you can add more digital tools and just like I told you. So it will motivate them also to come to classes. Right? This is, I think, it's just one of my input.
Ma'am, in case of autonomy, we can go for that many things, but in case of these affiliated colleges they are talking about, it is a rigid framework of 75% attendance many time. And with autonomy and NEP synergy, we can go for many things. If the student is wish to pursue his career in sports, he is more interested in sports, so we are not making 75% attendance mandatory for that student, and we are giving maximum credit to that student by showing its activity of sports. It can be converted, the credit can be converted, and a few of the, see, he can attend 30% lectures, suppose. So this we are doing with the autonomy in my college case.
Yeah, so that's interesting because you can introduce newer ways, and where the student is good, you can push a bit harder there. Like if a student is very good with certain sport, you can push that student harder there.
And interestingly, my college physical attendance is more than 85%, ma'am. Many students are coming. We are not having that problem. A little bit problem we are facing in arts only, but there also above 80% attendance is there. But for science, commerce, we are having full attendance at our place. It's Rajarshi Shaw Mahavidyalaya Autonomous College, Latur.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah, and one team from Gujarat also. Gujarat government also visited our college. What practices we are doing at our college. So we are having such a nice attendance at our place.
I think many of my other colleagues who are working in different colleges also sort of tell me that it's sort of a rigid approach where it's mandatory and they have to attend, else they are not able to give exams also. So in that case, I feel that I think it works in some cases. Like in JNU, we don't have a system of attendance only. We completely did put it on the students. You come to the class, it's fine. You don't come, it's perfectly okay. But yes, students do come on their own because they want to learn and they want to sort of learn newer things. So I think if the classroom is more interactive, they are interested and they are given those newer things to learn, they would want to come. See, of course, exceptions would be there with certain students who eventually don't want to learn. But with most of us, that's I was telling I think in one of the model I was told you that you have to create that sense of urgency, that it has to be there. Else, it's difficult to thrive in this very competitive setup. It is very difficult, right? So that sort of urgency can be created.
Yeah, at our place we have created a competitive examination program, ma'am. It is fully focused on competitive examinations only. So there, the art students are very interested. They are seeking for that batch mostly. It is affecting
Right.
in some innovative practices we are trying to do. So other college, if they are having autonomy, they can also do for go for such practices and
Right.
enhance their attendance.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience.
Roll number 26, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
You can propose or talk.
Yes, yes. One phrase that comes to my mind is change is the only constant, and we have to abide by it. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sakshi Sharma, Assistant Professor JNU, for today's enlightening session on contemporary issues in digital transformation and higher education. The speaker's rich insight into human capital development, knowledge management strategies, disruptions in the digital era, and evolving pedagogies have offered us a comprehensive understanding of the rapidly changing educational scenario. We are especially thankful for the practical perspective shared on change management, facilitative teaching, and adapting to technology, as well as the meaningful discussion on how digital tools, AI, and online learning paradigm are reshaping the teaching learning process. The emphasis on constructivistic approach and the recognition that our educational ecosystem is truly dynamic and continuously evolving have been particularly valuable. The session has helped us reflect on our own practices and envision more effective, inclusive, and future ready learning environment. Once again, thank you, Dr. Sakshi Sharma, our course coordinators, and all participants for contributing to such an engaging and insightful discussion. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Lord. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Roll number 27, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Okay. So are you ready with the introduction and vote of thanks?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Should we start or we'll wait?
No, wait for a while.
Okay.
She has not joined it.
Okay.
Hello, Seema ma'am. Hello, Seema ma'am.
Yes,
Yogita
yes.
here.
Okay, ma'am.
I have joined the meeting.
Yes. Our guest has joined the meeting. Sunaina Kadle ma'am, kindly introduce her.
Yeah. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Namaste and a very good evening to one and all. On behalf of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center and the coordinators of this refresher course and all the participants, it's an honor for me to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Yogita Shivajirao Patil. When the biodata was sent to me, it was so exhausted and really it was very difficult for me to actually synthesize it. But I've tried my best to put forth achievements of Dr. Yogita in front of us. She's an accomplished researcher, innovator, and an academician currently serving as an assistant professor at SBES College of Science, Chhatrapati Shambhajinagar. She brings with her over 12 years of academic and research experience. Dr. Patil holds a PhD in computer science, and her research expertise spans machine learning, pattern recognition, medical image processing, and data mining. She's also done her MPhil. She has published widely in international journals and conferences and contributed to books in the form of chapters on advanced technologies. Her inventive mindset is reflected in her national and international patents, covering innovations in AI based text recognition, smart leaf detection, seed sowing robotics, and enhanced clustering techniques. Of course, few of these things, even I don't know what they mean, but that was what the biodata says. She's also a respected resource person, having delivered sessions for NETS, SET preparation, and NEP orientation program. She has trained learners in practical machine learning applications. I would like to quote for her: innovation begins with a single question and grows when we dare to explore it. Dr. Patil's work is a reminder to always ask, always explore, and always innovate. Thank you, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. Please, all of you, please join me in welcoming Dr. Yogita Patil. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for coming and sharing your expertise. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a nice introduction. I'm feeling very delighted. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have been asked to deliver, I mean to say deliver, not actually, but I have been asked to just share my views on e-governance, and we all together, let's try to understand the necessity of this e-governance and how we are moving towards the better future you in this particular digital era. Now we are living in digital era. Now how we educator, we teacher can make it much more better and can contribute in this e-governance. So first of all, a very good afternoon to all the participants. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this refresher course session, which focus on e-governance, powering the digital future. I first of all thank to Mahajan ma'am, the director of MMTTC, Dr. Veena ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to present my views on this e-governance. So today we will explore how technology is transforming governance, how public administration is evolving from slow, paperless driven system to a dynamic and digital ecosystem. Now all we are experiencing this e-governance, we are using actually the lot many applications where we came across this e-governance concept. So e-governance is no longer an optional reform. It is at the heart of the modern public service delivery. So I'll make sure that by the end of this session, we all will try to understand the key digital transformation shaping the governance today, the technologies which are enabling them, the changing ahead, the changes which are, and importantly, the role we play as a faculty member in driving digital empowerment among the students and even the communities. So let me share my slide. Please give me the consent that whether it is visible or not. Just a moment. Is my slide is visible?
No,
No,
ma'am,
madam.
not yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
No,
just a
ma'am.
minute.
Just share entire screen, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Just a minute. Sorry, it's taking too much time.
No problem, ma'am. Take your time.
Okay. Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. I could see your explorer.
Yes, yes, it's coming here.
Okay, okay, it's coming, no?
Yes,
Yes,
we got it.
fine. Okay, so let me show you what I'll try to cover in this lecture. So in this 2 days journey, we will see about the foundation, vision, implementation, technology, and the future of this e-governance. So before beginning this, let's play a game. I have designed a game just to get the insight that how we will know about the e-governance concept. As I said, all we are using many application where we came across the concept e-governance. We are actually using it and just to know up to how much extent we know about the e-governance. That's why I have designed this game. So can you just type in Google that kahoot.it. So are you ready to play the game?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm having that
Yes,
app
ma'am.
also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are having that app. So even in mobile, also it will work. Or if you want to play on your laptop, it will be also fine. On your laptop, you can play. I'm just loading my game. Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Many
Yes.
of you might have played this game. So on my screen, a question and answer will be visible. But on your screen, when you will type kahoot.it, when I will start game here, it will ask you about the game pin. The game pin will be get displayed on my screen. Once you type the game pin, and you will have to just enter your nickname. So you can enter your initial over there. And once you get login to that particular game, option will be visible on my screen. You will be on your screen, just only option color will be visible. So you will have to do the work that you will have to look at my screen, and then wherever you are playing the game, so as per that right color option, you will have to choose. So shall we start?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
madam.
Okay, so the game is loading. It's an interesting game. Uh, Participant, those who will quickly answer, they will get the maximum point, and that the sort of finally the podium will be created. First runner up, second runner up, third runner up, and sort of. So the game pin is 665517. Dr. KKRS 39 Asha have joined the game. We'll wait for the others also.
Joined, ma'am. I mean,
Okay. Oh, yes, yes. I could able to see on my screen. Even if you could able to see my screen properly, then you also able to give that how many participants have joined this game.
Hello,
Yes.
how to join, ma'am?
Ma'am, the process is very simple. Just type in Google kahoot.it.
Okay, okay, एक मिनट.
Okay. KAH.
Hello,
हाँ, yes,
एक
ma'am.
मिनट. हाँ, KH.
KASOOT.
हाँ,
.it.
OT.
हाँ.
Dot
Kahoot.it. It. It.
it.
हाँ.
Okay.
Kahoot.it. It will ask you for the game pin, and the game pin is displayed on my screen. Or
Enter.
even yes.
665517.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It will ask you next about your nickname. So you can type your
Enter.
initial or your first name as you wish.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I start?
Uh,
Or
uh,
others are trying? I guess
Hello.
others are still trying to join. Hi, yes, ma'am.
Uh, कैसे पता चलेगा कि ज्वाइन हुए हैं या नहीं है?
मैम मैंने गेम अभी तक स्टार्ट नहीं किया है।
भाई इस पे
हाँ, तो
नाम
आप
दिख रहे
क्या
हैं
करना
ना?
है,
ये
काहोट
नाम
डॉट
दिख
इट जब
हाँ
आप
हाँ
गूगल में डालोगे।
आ गए
हाँ, दिख रहा
हाँ
है ना
हाँ
नाम?
हाँ
यस
आ गए मैम।
हाँ, आ गया ना?
यस
ओके।
यस यस
और
ओके।
आप लोगों को मेरे स्क्रीन पे ऑप्शन दिखेंगे, राइट? आपके स्क्रीन पे आपको वो ऑप्शन का कलर दिखेगा, कलर कोड आपको खाली वहां पे दिखने वाला है। तो राइट ऑप्शन का जो भी कलर कोड है, यू विल हैव टू सेलेक्ट दैट वन। Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
let me click on the start. And you will have to quickly answer, huh? So you have very less time, and means many of you might, many of you, I mean to say, all of you will give the correct answer. But here, those only will get the maximum point. Those who will quickly answer that particular question. Question is very basic and simple question here I have designed for you. So let's play this interesting game. I have click on the start. I hope my screen is visible. Shall I read the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which of the following is a major challenge in implementing e-governance in rural areas?
Hello.
Time's
Okay.
up.
So the time's up. Okay, no worries.
There is time limit.
Dashboard shows that. Yeah, there is a time limit there. That's why I said. The dashboard is says that Dr. KK score 711 because he or she, I don't know, the person, whoever is Dr. KK, has given the correct answer very quickly. So let me show you the second question. Second is, what is the biggest security concern in e-governance system? The options are server room temperature, cyber attack and data breaches, long working hours, and staff uniforms. So quickly answer this question.
How to answer, ma'am?
Okay.
Hello.
Ma'am, option you will see on my screen, and
Click.
on your screen, only color will be get displayed: red, blue, yellow, and green color.
The shapes are also different.
Shapes are also different. A square, circle, then kite
नहीं
shape is
अभी
also there.
आंसर
Triangle.
किस टाइप कैसे देने का अभी साइबर
हाँ,
अटैक एंड डाटा
तो ब्लू कलर पे टिक कीजिए ना आप। आपने ब्लू
ओके ओके
पे टिक
ओके
कर दिया कि आंसर आपका रिकॉर्ड हो गया। ओके, लेट मी
ओके
शो यू. स्टिल डॉक्टर के हाईएस्ट पे है. उसके बाद आरएस है, माधव सर है, अभिजीत सर है, फिर आरआर है. सो द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, resistance to change among government employees is mainly due to, the first red option is lack of training and fear to technology. Blue option is overuse of mobile phones. Yellow option is free Wi-Fi availability. And the green option is increase in salary. 18 answers. Okay. Only 18 answer or 20 answer I got for this question. So 20 people have answered. Can you see that this particular dashboard which is shown over here on my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Podium it is.
Yes, yes. 13 means the option which is there in red color is correct, and 13 have answered correctly. 4 people has selected overuse of mobile phone, 1 has selected free Wi-Fi availability, and 2 has selected the increase in salary. So let's move to the next question. Before that, let's look at the score. Oh my God, Dr. KK is very fast. Now, Abhijit sir का rank थोड़ा ऊपर आ गया है. Okay. So the next question is digital divide refers to. The first option red, divide between departments. Blue option, gap between people with and without digital access. Yellow option is a programming language, and the green option is a type of online exam. 12 has answered, 13 has answered, 16, 17, 18, 19 people have answered. Okay. So finally, 12 participants have given the correct answer for this. Let's see the dashboard. Okay, अभी आर सर मैम जो भी है वो ऊपर आ गया, अभिजीत सर का डाउन हो गया, और एंड के सर का तो प्लेस किसी ने लिया ही नहीं, वही टॉप पे है. सर है, मैम है, मे आई नो?
सर है सर, अनबीटेबल.
ओके,
के
सर
सर
है. हाँ सर है. सर आपका रैंक किसी ने लिया नहीं है. ओके, निमी जो भी है वो भी आए हैं. मैम अभी आ गए अभी यहाँ पे. ओके, लेट्स प्ले द नेक्स्ट. Which issue affects the accuracy of e-governance databases? Uniform color, data duplication and poor data quality, number of computers, office furniture. 14, 15, 16 have answered, 17 have answered, 18, 19, 20 have answered. Yes. Okay, oh my goodness. 17 participants correctly answer this question. So it's good. So let's see the scoreboard. Yes, still KK sir is on the top. Okay, so the next is, which is a major financial challenge in e-governance project? Too much office celebration, high infrastructure and maintenance cost, cost of tea, hiring celebrities. Okay, high infrastructure and maintenance cost. Okay, 19 have correctly answered. Okay, so let's see the scoreboard. Okay, still KK sir is on top. Okay, 7th question is, which challenge slow down adoption of e-governance services by citizen? Lack of online games, low digital literacy, too many ads, overuse of social media. These are the options. T have. Okay, 22 have answered for this. Okay, 18 participants says that low digital literacy. Yes, this is the correct answer. So let's move ahead. Let's see the scoreboard. Yes, still Dr. KK sir is on top. Second, Abhijit sir, and then next is Sunaina ma'am is there, Nimi, and 32, Kundan Taide sir is there. Okay, so the question number 8 is, interoperability issue arise because of system are compatible, departments use incompatible system, computers run too fast, employee buy laptops. 18 have answered, 19 have answered, 20 have answered. Okay, 19 have correctly said that department use incompatible system, right? So let's look at the scoreboard. Yes, KK sir is on top still. Okay, so 9th question is, which is a legal challenge for e-governance? Lack of cybersecurity and data protection laws, too many IT parks, many mobile apps and social media platforms. (22) 18 participants have correctly answered that lack of cybersecurity and data protection laws are there. Okay, let's look at the scoreboard. Okay, so the last question of this game is, why do some e-governance projects fail after its implementation? Poor post-implementation support, efficient employees, high citizen usage, frequent software updates. What actually the reason? Twenty have 21 have answered. Okay, 14 have correctly answered that. Poor post implementation support. Yes. Let's look at the scoreboard. E-governance challenge podium will be get generated. The third runner-up is Sunaina ma'am. Second is Abhijit sir, and the first is obviously Dr. KK. Yes. Congrats to all the participants. And Nimi and 39 also.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Enjoy किया आप लोगों ने? Have you enjoyed?
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you
Yes, of
if
course.
you
Yes,
want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
Very
Yes,
much, very
ma'am.
much.
if you want to take a pic of this, you can click. Okay. So shall I end this?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Okay, let me end this code again. We'll leave this. Where we were at this. Okay. Is my slide is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we have played this Kahoot game just to get the insight that how much you people know about the e-governance. We all very well known about the e-governance. Let's come to this come to this our session. So let's try to understand why e-governance matters now. Now, why we should know very well about this e-governance, and we as an educator, how we can play role in making people aware about this e-governance. As already we are knowing that in paperless era, in paper era, in those days where every job, every work was means around about the paper, means even though we have to write an application, we have to open the account in bank, so we have to stand in a queue, we have to take that paper, we have to fill up that, we have to submit it, and don't know how much how many days it might took to open the account. Even in everywhere paper work was there. So and if paper is get misplaced, or let's say it is get thrown away mistakenly, so there was no track, there was no record that you can claim that yes, I have filled that paper, I have submitted it. So every thing was around the paper, and if paper is misplaced or if it is thrown away, so it was a very tedious and hectic for everyone. So in order to make the people life simple, in order to make it transparent, this e-governance came into the picture. So there are many countries where this e-governance is 99%ly implemented. So you might be aware or might be knowing about the name of that country, which I have included in my further slide. Estonia is Estonia is the place or a country where 99% e-governance is implemented. So on a single fingertip, every service is made available for the citizens. Actually, this e-governance is just for the betterment of the people, those who are living in that particular country. Our world moved into this digital first era. So citizens now expect service, means instantly. We are expecting everything, like let's say from the banking service to the food delivery service, shopping on single click in within 10 minutes. The required item will be get delivered at your doorstep, and governance is expected to be equally fast and accessible. So India has become one of the largest digital society in the world with a low cost data, smartphone and public digital infrastructure. Governance has become the more citizen centric. So e-governance is there just to answer the question like how we can reduce the queues, how can citizen access services from their home, and how transparency can be get improved. So to answer this H type question, the e-governance is working. Today's citizens want efficient, paperless, queue-less, and faceless services. So that is a basic need of this e-governance. That's why e-governance is a central to modern public administration. So let's move to the next slide. So in defining you can define e-governance in many ways, but in simple term, you can define e-governance as e-governance is the thing, or electronic governance is the thing where the use of ICT is there. So what actually the ICT is? Information and communication technology. And why this ICT is used? It is just to improve the government process, public service delivery, and the citizen engagement. Through this we could able to achieve. That's why this e-governance, that is electronic governance, is there. It is important to remember that this e-governance is not only about digitizing the services, existing services, manual services. It also involves rethinking the processes, minimizing this manual, what we can say, interventions, and making system more responsive, transparent, and predictable. For that purpose, this digitization in all services, in all public services, is expected. So this is the aim, we can say, of this e-governance. So in short, I have wrote some point on my screen, that is technology transfer, citizen engagement, then streamlined processes, governance framework. So let me give a simple example about this citizen engagement. So all we know that NEP 2020, when it get launched, when the first draft came into the picture, so the government has asked all the stakeholders of this education system to give their suggestions, to write their view about this NEP 2020. So for what purpose they have asked the stakeholders, or what we can say the citizen, about this NEP 2020? Why? Because they just wanted to engage the citizen. They wanted to incorporate the views of the citizen, views of the stakeholder in NEP 2020 to make it more beautiful. And the objective is to provide the flexible education to the students. So in order to provide that flexible education, if it is inclusive, the approach is inclusive. So that's why stakeholders should write up, should give their views regarding this NEP 2020 to make it more beautiful, and the implementation, to make the implementation process hassle free. For that purpose they have used. So many examples can be given. So in short, we can say that the technology, people, process, and the policies is equals to the e-governance. That simple it is. So if even one of these weak, if even people is weak, if technology is weak, or even process or policy is weak, so the implementation will suffer. So that's why technology, people, process, and policies have equal importance in e-governance. So they equally contribute to the e-governance. So moving ahead, there are major 4 pillars of this e-governance. So these 4 pillars determine the success of e-governance. The pillars are transparency, efficiency, accountability, and inclusiveness. So as I said, accessible digital service reach undeserved population, bridging the gap between geography, language, and ability, that I have wrote here. Let's see one by one. What I mean to say transparency, when citizen can see the process, means if simple example, if we have send particular document or send particular gift item to our near one, dear one. So using, let's say, DTDC kind of services, for example, courier services, let's consider. So we can easily track where our packet is, whether it is get dispatched, whether it is in transit, whether it is get transported to the place where we want to ship it, and whether it is about to ship at the doorstep of our near one or dear one, those who we want to send. So this we can see. So here there is no worry about the misplace of that particular packet, or what we can say, there is no fear of means वो कहाँ गायब नहीं होगा, कहाँ चोरी भी नहीं होगा. Let's say there is no fear, so we can able to track, and if there is a delay in delivery, so we can make a call and we can answer why it is still in transit, how long it will be there in the transit itself, when it will be get reached. That type of tracking we can do. So here, and if we look at about any file which is there in a government office, so we can see, we could able to easily see कि वो फाइल एक टेबल पे से दूसरे पे गया है या पहले ही टेबल पे पड़ा है, वो कहाँ पे है, कहाँ प्रोसेस हो रहा है, वो डॉक्यूमेंट कहाँ घूम रहा है. So here corruption will be less. To minimize the corruption and to increase the transparency for the sake of citizen, this transparency is considered as one of the major pillar of this e-governance. Efficiency digital system reduce the time and the cost. As paper, we are moving toward the paperless. We are making the many system, many services digitized. So that's why we can say it's efficient in that way. Accountability, digital log help track of responsibility. So as I give an example, and inclusiveness is everyone, regardless of the geography or literacy level, must benefit. So these are the four pillar of this e-governance. Without these pillar, governance becomes just another technology, or we can say it is a technological project, not a transformation. So that's why these are the important things in this e-governance. So let's look at the evolution of e-governance. So from paper-based bureaucracy to AI-powered services, we are moving. So here, the shift from traditional governance to the e-governance happens in the phase which I have listed on my screen: manual era, online services, mobile revolution, and finally the AI and the predictive era. So here we can say that the evolution of e-governance, in short, we can say that the manual era, in the manual era, where which refers to the period, and this era was just before computers and digital tools were used in the government operations. All administrative tasks were performed by hand, replying on, let's say, physical document, and face-to-face interaction was there in this era. And that is, I guess, before 1970. I wrote here 1970, but before 1970s, you can consider here. And the key feature in this era was paper-based record they used to keep. Then they used to maintain the registers and document store in a physical storeroom. Manual processing of application approvals and data handling was there. Then limited communication, we can say, was there in this era. Obviously, services का speed भी जो था वो that was minimum in this particular era. And this era exists before 1970s, when computerization began in many government. Then later computerization era came around 1970s to 1980s, where government begins to use computer for their internal tasks. Like for example, we can give here the example of payroll system. Then you can think of the data storages and the record management. For that purpose, government began using that computers. Then here, networking and internet use. I have right here the online services. So online services introduction means portal services like for example, bill payment, tax filing, and online application, that is G2C, G2B, and G2G services were get expanded in this online service era. What I mean to say, G2C, that is interaction way. In e-governance, there are said that there are 4 interaction ways by which government can interact. That is G2C, government to citizen; G2B, government to business; G2G, government to government. So these services are getting started expanding in this online service era. Then integrated and mobile governance begins in 2000, around 2010, when multiple services merge on unified platform that we called as a mobile app and digital identity system grid. For example, here we can think of the digital signature and EID we could able to create in this particular era, and the smart and AI driven governance 2020 and the present use of AI, big data, the technology like blockchain, cloud computing, automation to provide faster, personalized, and transparent services came into the picture. So, manual paperwork, then basic computerization, online service, mobile first governance, then predictive and AI enabled governance. So, this was the journey, or this is a bit about the evolution of e governance. This evolution shows technology has steadily transformed the way citizens interact with the government system. So let's move ahead. Here, the digital India, the term is the digital India transforming a nation through technology. So as I can show you the slide here, if you able to could see, so kindly inform me whether it is visible.
Yes, madam.
Okay, okay. So this I have not prepared. This is prepared by Ministry of External Affairs, Investment and Technology. This I just link up here to show you about this Digital India Power to Empower, what actually the theme and what actually the concept is. So what is actually the digital era? To make India ready for knowledge based future, which focuses for the 1.13 lakh crore people. The aim is just to provide the high-speed internet, the mobile phone, and the what we can say bank account, enabling participation in digital and financial space, seamless integration across departments, then take digital literacy to the next level. This is actually the aim of this digital India. Up to the what we can say the rural place or the hilly areas, even the government want that network should be get reached, internet services should be make available so that those citizens who are living in that particular what we can say area where it is highly previous day was impossible to reach out them, and we cannot make them a part of this what we can say इंक्लूसिवनेस अप्रोच जो है वो हैपन नहीं हो रहा था, तो फॉर दैट पर्पस गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग to reach up to them. Government is trying to incorporate their saying in decision in policy, so that actually the aim of this. So let's move ahead. So there are 9 pillars of this digital India. Like let's say they want to establish broadband highways, e-Kranti, universal access to mobile connectivity, information for all, electronics, manufacturing, public internet access program, IT job for all, early harvest programs, e-governance, reforming government through technology. So these are the 9 pillars of this digital India. So here broadband highways. So for all villages, panchayats should be covered under this national optic fiber network that is called termed as INO-FN by December 26. That was the aim. Now their aim was what we can say achieve ho gaya hai up to maximum extent we can see. So here e-Kranti, just I said, one of the pillar of this digital India, the biggest program within which digital India focuses on the mobile first approach. So integration of services platform like Aadhaar, then which provides the unique identity, and the e-education, the MOOC courses. We can look at the MOOC courses, free Wi-Fi in schools, which provides access to these online, massive online courses. Then e-healthcare for the farmer, what we can say, we can provide on mobile app itself what is the situation of climate, weather, what could be the weather forecasting, and the suggestion about what to sow in the field, and whether it will be upcoming weather will be suitable for that or not, for the particular crop. That kind of suggestion can be provided. Then e-court, the technology for justice, e-courts, e-police, these are the terms which are used in e-Kranti, which transform the e-governance for transforming the governance. So this I got from the website, and example here, the Aadhaar. That example we will see in our slide also, which is a very big project. So which gives a digital identity. Then Jan Dhan Yojana, many of the Yojana we can list out here. DigiLocker services is there, Jan Dhan Yojana is there, National Digital Literacy Mission government has undertaken and working on it. National Optical Fiber Network, that is NOFN, the government is still trying to establish and still trying to reach the people. Then e-Bhasha project is there. Digital India investment opportunities are there. Bharat Airtel, Aditya Birla Group, many investors are investing. The Reliance Industries also investing in to support this digital India. Vodafone even supporting for this digital India mission of government of India. So here, as we have discussed a little about this digital India, transforming nation through the technology, and many technologies like AI, cloud computing, learning, then IoT is playing a major role in this digital India. Let me give you a brief overview about this digital India mission, which actually launched in, I guess, 2015. Fundamentally challenged the landscape of the governance. Its goal was simple: just to make digital India digitally empowered, bringing government services directly to the citizen fingerprint. So that was the aim of this digital India. The mission is built on three vision pillar. The vision pillar was here I wrote here: digital infrastructure, service on demand, and a digital empowerment of the citizen. So these was the three pillars. Under this umbrella, numerous digital public platform were get created, which we'll explore in the coming slide. So India's digital public infrastructure. India is now globally recognized for the digital public. Hello. India is now globally recognized for its digital public infrastructure, which is short form is DPI, such as few example I have wrote here, like Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, FASTag, CoWIN, ONDC, and many more are there. DPIs are digital foundation that allow governance, even business and citizen to interact seamlessly. For example, this Aadhaar is a biometric identity system which covers around 1.3 plus billion residents. Then a UPI, that is unified payment, or we are using it, enables instant money transfer. Digital Locker is a facility which enables document sharing, which is a cloud-based service. Then CoWIN enable vaccination management at the massive scale. So I will be happy to share with you all that I also the part of UI creator team. We have designed a UI during the COVID period, that how much daily cases are encountered, those are affected by this COVID, how much people were get cured, and how many death occurred. So that kind of dashboard we have created as a team, and I was the part of that particular team. So these systems have allowed India to leapfrog many nations to the digital governance. So as I said, Aadhaar is the world largest digital ID, and Aadhaar is a backbone of, we can say, India's identity ecosystem. Everywhere we have link up to our Aadhaar. Just by clicking our Aadhaar number, पूरा कुंडली अपना आ जाता है. So which enables a direct benefit transfer, then which enables e-KYC for the banks, we are using Aadhaar for that. Then digital authentication is enabled by this Aadhaar. The success of Aadhaar demonstrated that the strong digital identity framework is essential for the efficient e-governance. So through this Aadhaar, we have achieved this, that direct means we can say that direct benefit transfer is achieved through this Aadhaar. The digital payment system, one of our favorite, that is UPI. UPI transform India's payment landscape. It is easy, fast, universal, making payment as a simple and sending a message. So we used to send a message on writing and just clicking, the messages get delivered in a simple way. Just scan and pay the money. So this how much simple it is. This particular service is. It is not just the payment system. It is a digital governance which actually in action, and which enables transparent transaction. So if I'm paying to you, and if the ID is correct, the scanner is correct, so from my account will be get debited, and to your only account it will be get credited. Fast service delivery is get achieved this UPI. Then we are now in the cashless economy through this UPI. Then financial inclusion is made possible through this UPI, and this UPI shows government backed technology can disturb the entire industries. So DigiLocker is one of the beautiful services, so which allows citizens to store document, will not have to carry the document. Like let's say we can save our PAN, we can save our Aadhaar, we can save our driving license on cloud. Even student can store their mark sheet. They will not have to carry in their hand, which is secure, and it is in digital format. This seamless. It is a very seamless. This eliminates the need to carry actually the document in hand, reduce what we can say.
Re-verification.
Yes. I mean to say, it will reduce the re-verification, and one term is there that is document fuzzy, that I want to say. That document fuzziness is also get reduced by this DigiLocker service. Then FASTag is there, one of the application. So no need to be there. Means at the toll plazas nowadays we could able to see hardly one or two or three people. Previously, team was there, many people were working over there. So without wasting our travel time, we could pass through that toll plaza within a fraction of second. That scan our that FASTag sticker, and from our account the money is get debited. So this all we are experiencing. So this is the part of this digital India. This is the part of the e-governance, right? So are you agree?
Yes, ma'am. We are agree.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
see how technology has changed our life, and how it has made the simpler. And to make our life simpler, many technologies are there. We know them, we know their name. So the technologies are that we know about the technology, that is artificial intelligence, big data, which is used in decision making, blockchain to secure our record, it is used. Then IoT, Internet of Things, that is sensor based. For real-time monitoring, it is used. Then the cloud computing, it is actually this gives us a feature like a scalability. Here, the artificial intelligence automates routine government tasks. It improves service delivery, enables the chatbot productivity analytics and fast decision making. So many machine learning algorithms are playing their role to make it more simpler and or fingertip to give you the all kind of record. Even we want to invest, let's say, in the stock market. So with the help of this machine learning algorithm, with the help of this AI algorithm, we could able to predict what will be the market scenario in upcoming or in upcoming week or in upcoming month or in upcoming even year also we could able to predict, even though it is a very fluctuate. So that's why I have carefully given the example of the stock market. So there are the algorithm which can study the massive amount of data and the information which we could not be able to see with our naked eye, that can be get retrieved. So which we can termed as a patterns, like hidden patterns from the data can be get retrieved, and which are used to give the prediction, to make the prediction. This was the actual beauty of this machine learning and AI algorithm. In big data, it helps government to analyze the large voluminous data, and which help them to make a policy, then resource allocation and identify citizen need. Even in banking system also, if let's say XYZ person approach to bank, and the person want a big amount of loan, let's say, consider this example, and if bank want to identify whether the loan will be get available or not, and so in order to make that decision, the bank will have to look at the document of that person, whether the team will investigate, and then further the process will carry out. And if after investigation, let's say bank has offered the loan amount, and if that person is not if person has provided the wrong document, so we can say that the whatever the loan amount is sanctioned, so that is totally wrong. So bank will be there, will get in the loss. So there are certain machine learning algorithm which can quickly give you the decision, which can quickly give you a suggestion whether you means you will have to invest in your time in viewing the document of that particular person. So lot many cases are there in a banking system. So bankers daily are facing to such a cases, and if such a cases are get analyzed, so one kind of graph, one kind of analysis can be get provided to the person, those who are sitting in that chair, so can make a decision faster. So no need to verify anything else. If such a kind of means what we can say financial graph is observed, or such a kind of gap is there in between that whatever the person is saying and whatever actually the reality is there, so decision can be made faster. So it will help in banking system to take a smart decision. In blockchain, which ensures secure, transparent and tamper-proof record, useful for the land record. So identity system, supply chain and audits can be made possible with the this help of the blockchain technology. And this IoT, which enables real-time monitoring through the connected devices used in the smart cities, like traffic control. In traffic control mechanism, sensors are there. If there is a huge traffic, allow traffic to get pass for, let's say, whatever the stipulated time is having get calculated by that sensor for that time period. Traffic will allow to be get through that particular signal. If on signal no one is there, then why to display that red signal? So wherever the crowd is high, or the crowd number is high, so allow that people to pass, so that the people time will be get saved. That smart decision there itself, by just monitoring the crowd at the signal, can be taken place with the help of this IoT. Even in the smart cities, if there is a if dustbin is get full, let's say in a colony area, there is a common bin is provided, and what we can say, it is get full. So now it's time to get empty that bin. So whatever the vehicle is there, the vehicle job is to collect that particular bin material. So that will decide, that will navigate through that particular path, and can decide the route on that real time processing can happen with the help of this IoT. With the help of sensor technique, it will give you the beep, or it will give you the signal that now it's time to empty this particular bin. So you can change your route, whatever the pre-decided route, that can be changed, that decision can be taken on this in real time. So this sensor technology is used in the smart cities. As we discussed a little about the cloud computing, which provide the scalable, cost-effective infrastructure for hosting government services, ensure faster access to our data, which we are keeping on the cloud. All we know that Google gives is the 15 GB free, isn't it? So we are using that 15 GB of data to store our presentations, to store our documents, to store our video lecture, then to store our photos or Google Photos over there, right? We can empty our phone and we can save at that place also. So 15 GB is free. So that we are already using the services of this cloud computing. So artificial intelligence, then through chatbot, we can interact with the, let's say, question answering system is provided. Even the person is not there physically, but through that chatbot, we can write our queries and we can get our answered. So these are the beauty of the technology, which help our which makes our life very simpler and without actually visiting particular office, just by clicking on the website of that office, and if there is a chatbot, we can interact with that chatbot, we can answer ask question, and we will get the basic information about that particular office or whatever we are querying about. Let's say we want to take an admission in a particular private university. Even the private university on website, they provide the chatbot, what actually the admission process is, how much is the fees, how much concession will be provided, then any kind of suggestion regarding that course the offered by that private university, that kind of suggestions, if we are asking to chatbot, so chatbot will answer you. So without visiting to that particular university, at home itself, you can know a little about that or much more about that particular university. So this AI helps government to predict problem before they occur. So like traffic management, we discussed resource optimization, personalized service can be provided with this AI. And the blockchain technology, we have just now discussed about the land registry, academic credentials, supply chain tracking, digital identity. For the in this particular areas, this blockchain technology is used. So as I said, blockchain ensure that the trust through transparency and immutability can be we can say achieved through this blockchain. Then as I discuss about bit about the IoT, environmental sensors, adaptive traffic, smart lighting, even LED street light dim when area are empty, saving energy while ensuring the safety. So that kind of real-time smart decision can be made possible with the help of this Internet of Thing. And in environmental sensors, that AQI, air quality index, is get reflected on the dashboard of the pollution control on the dashboard of pollution control office. And as per that AQI, whether to navigate that particular means like in the, we can give example of Delhi also. So by looking at that AQI index, the government can decide odd or even day system there in Delhi to minimize the population, to minimize that AQI level, that air, to improve the air quality index. So that kind of
Ma'am,
decision.
in
Yes.
in other countries, if the AQI is very bad, the government is having forceful lockdown there. But at our place in Delhi, the air quality index is so poor.
So bad.
Then also government have to take a strict action. No.
Yes, 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 yes. So this is really true, sir. But what they are planning an odd and even day, means they are following that
Odd number vehicle, even number
odd
vehicle.
number vehicle, even number vehicle.
E-
That kind of planning they are doing. Actually, certain smart decision need to be taken, but considering the huge population in the Delhi, so maybe government facing a problem to make any kind of decision, because many people are working. It's a what we can say a capital of India, where lot many things is happening, right? Industrial area is also very big one there. So without hampering the people life, they have to take the decision. So that's why might be they are taking time to take a sustainable decision, right? So we are moving towards the sustainability, and in order to move towards the sustainability, so we'll have to take the current scenario, the what will means we can say what kind of problem may arise due to a certain particular decision. So that thing, by considering that, they will have to draft a law or they will have to take an action. So for that reason, they might be taking a long time to take a decision. So this the beauty of IoT is there is that the simply you can take a real time decision. Right. By looking at the current scenario, you can take a decision. For example, a simple example is smart lighting. That is, LED will be get dim in the area where it is an empty, which will save the energy automatically. Even we discuss about the waste management also. Sensor signal when bins need to be get empty, optimizing the collection route. So that vehicle will optimize its collection route. Then smart surveillance, even in public Wi-Fi, free internet access in parks, transit, station, and public building is provided through this IoT. So lot many applications can be discussed for this IoT, which play a major role in creating the smart cities. So in cloud computing, already we have discussed, which gives us the benefit, what we can say, when we will required, provided that if you have an internet connection, you will get that particular thing available on your mobile phone, on your desktop, on your laptop, wherever you are there, if the thing is kept on a cloud. So this is the beauty of cloud, and it's a simple pay as you go model. Whatever services you are using, you will have to pay only for that services, whatever you are using, and it's a scalable option. So many industries like small scale, medium, and the large scale industries are using this cloud computing to create their IT infrastructure. Why to invest money to create the IT infrastructure in a campus itself? So industries or many institutions are opting the option that host somebody third party is there who is taking care of our data. Will not have to invest money in creating a IT infrastructure at physically IT infrastructure in a campus itself. Somebody else is taking care of data. Even data servers are there,
Like GoDaddy.
yeah, GoDaddy. डेटा का रिप्लिका किया जाता है, एक ही सर्वर पे नहीं रहता हमारा डेटा. इन आर इंस्टीट्यूशन, लेट्स से मेरा एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है, वहां पे डेटा कीपिंग मैकेनिज्म लेट्स से ऑन क्लाउड है. सो मुझे वरी करने की जरूरत ही नहीं ना, मेरा डेटा लॉस्ट होगा या फिर कोई चोरी कर सकेगा उसको. इवन दो इन वर्स सिचुएशन मेरा डेटा सर्वर पे से क्लाउड सर्वर पे से लॉस्ट हो गया, देयर इज अ रिकवरी मैकेनिज्म. They have kept the replica of that data. एक सर्वर, दूसरा सर्वर, तीसरा सर्वर. Data recovery is possible with the help of this cloud. But अगर आप physical infrastructure create कर रहे हो, so you are investing much more amount in creating physical infrastructure, and even you are investing amount in hiring the manpower, which will have a better knowledge of that, better knowledge to look after about that IT infrastructure. So you will have to pay salary for those IT skilled persons, है ना? So you are investing creating physical infrastructure. You are investing in hiring the people which will look after that particular infrastructure. And even if there is a loss, so no one will be responsible for that loss, है ना? Attack हो गया, cyber attack हो गया, malware attack हो गया, data corrupt हो गया, encrypt हो गया. एनक्रिप्टेड डेटा को रिकवर करने का कॉस्ट तो कई ज्यादा मतलब हाई होता है, तो लोग उसमें पढ़ते ही नहीं है, राइट? सो ये पूरा थ्रेट जो है कि डेटा लॉस होने का या फिर अटैक की वजह से एनक्रिप्ट होने का, वो थ्रेट रहेगा ही ना अगर आप क्लाउड को मूव हो रहे हैं. एंड इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल पे एज यू गो मॉडल है. जितना सर्विसेज आपको यूज करना है, सर्विस बेस्ड मॉडल है. पे पीपल एज अ सर्विस, प्रोडक्ट एज अ सर्विस, नेटवर्क एज अ सर्विस, like this kind of model is there. So क्या बोलते हैं, ease of doing work or ease of keeping the record is get achieved with this cloud computing, and it is playing a major role in e-governance, which is offering scalable, flexible, and cost-effective digital infrastructure that can be get achieved with the help of this e-governance. And even it, as I said, it support in the disaster also. अगर आपका डेटा मतलब लेट्स से सर्वर जहाँ पे है आपका क्रिएट, लेट्स से हुआ था ना एक कोलकाता या फिर कहाँ पे मद्रास में, कहीं तो साइक्लोन की वजह से जहाँ पे डेटा सेंटर था वहां पे पानी चला गया था। आपने न्यूज सुना भी होगा। एक्चुअली
कोलकाता में।
हाँ, कोलकाता में डेटा सेंटर था। तो साइक्लोन की वजह से पानी इतना आ गया कि पूरा डेटा सेंटर पानी में चला गया। तो पानी में चला गया डेटा सेंटर, तो उनका रिप्लिका ऑलरेडी उन्होंने कई और जगह पे रखा था, तो रिकवरी ऑफ डेटा वो पॉसिबल हुआ। मान लो अगर वहां पे हमारा ऑफिस है और हमारा ऑफिस ऐसे पानी में चला जाता, तो डेटा रिकवरी कहाँ से करेंगे ना। वी कुड नॉट एबल टू रिकवर द डेटा। सो इवन इन डिजास्टर ऑल्सो इट सपोर्ट्स the recovery, ensuring continuous delivery of the services without hampering your regular work, and without fail it will support. So overall, this cloud computing enhance the efficiency, accessibility, and reliability in the e-governance. Cloud computing allow government system to scale during the peak demands, and let's say in COVID or and GST, and handle millions of transactions using this cloud-based system. So cloud reduces the cost, improves accessibility, and reduce the seamless service. Not reduce, it enables the seamless service delivery that can be get achieved. So let's discuss about the this success story of this Digital India. The COVID platform, India vaccinated around 2.2 billion doses during the purpose-built digital platform that manage the appointments, track inventory, and issue the verified certificates, all while handling the peak load of 10 million registration daily. So this is the one of the success of this Digital India. Then FASTag system we can talk about. We can talk about the MyGov portal. Then we can talk about the mini application which are there in the India. So this are the some success story example of this Digital India. Then next I'll show you about this one fact that Estonia, it's a digital nation where 99% government services are made online, and it is 24/7 the services are online. Estonia transfer itself into the world most advanced digital society after gaining the independence in 1991 में उनको इंडिपेंडेंस मिला। उसके बाद उन्होंने आज की डेट में 99% पूरा सिस्टम उनका डिजिटाइज किया है, पूरा ऑटोमेट किया है, एंड 99% उनका ई गवर्नेंस वहां पे चलता है। टुडे इट ऑफर्स अ मास्टर क्लास इन कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव ई गवर्नेंस दैट other nations study and is trying to replicate. So digital, by creating the digital identity, e-residence, blockchain government, and through the time saving they have achieved. The another case study we can talk about is the Singapore's. It's a smart nation. The Singapore uses IoT services and the AI and data analytics to manage the city services. So here the beauty of this AI technology, the beauty of IoT technology is playing a role in serving the that particular Singapore. Real-time data help in improving the public transportation. Then waste management system is beautifully handled with the help of IoT there, and even the security system is also get handled through this IoT. Singapore demonstrated how smart city can enhance the quality of the life. People living in Singapore are really living a quality life. Why? Because the smart city, they have created the smart city by using effectively using, I can say, these technologies. So as far now we are discussing about the e-governance, then the technology which are playing a major role in e-governance. Now let's just look at the benefits which are provided by the e-governance. So faster service delivery, enhance transparency, it reduce the corruption, then it enhance the accessibility. These are the certain benefits which are provided by this e-governance. But along with the benefits, there are certain what we can say disadvantages also there. I mean to disadvantage, I mean to say what we can say a divide is there. Why? Because illiteracy among people is the one of the reason for for this divide. So for the better data, lower cost, then improved efficiency, this e-governance is known, which increase the speed, transparency, and connection. Connection, I mean, integrated digital ecosystem can be get achieved. So there are certain challenges. As I said, there is a digital divide. So this is digital divide. Why? Because the people are illiterate, and rural population. Then there are certain elderly citizens. They don't know how to use that particular technology. So this can be think of about the challenges. Then cybersecurity threat still is there. If the centralized data system become get affected or get attacked or get hijacked, then there be a major loss, will have to suffer from that particular loss. So cyber threat is also there. Then certain privacy concerns are there. Then as vast amount of citizen data rises, then there is a fear about the misuse of that data is still there. Then a clear legal framework, then transparency about the data usage and storage are the certain threats. Then organizational resistance is also there, that government employees may resist digital transformation. They don't want to learn, and they think that it may get everything will be get disturbed by to learn. Certain type of what we can say reluctancy is there. Then they may feel that the may technology will take my job, and technology is a better replacement for me. So that kind of thinking is there. And there are certain challenges, like say training itself is a big challenge. If you are moving from paperless to the digital, then in that process you will have to train the people, you will have to make aware the people, you will have to uh, send that document at the in our government hierarchical different level. You will have to circulate among the people. Then these are the certain challenges. It can be get circulated just by one click, but it should be get reach up to the all person, that we can't make sure that it will be get on single click, it will be get reach up to the all people. We don't know actually how many people are still means currently using this particular or the part of this e-governance. They are giving their views, they are using it, they are becoming a part, they are doing their own work by themselves. They're not dependent on other, that we cannot predict. So these are the certain challenges that must be get considered. So addressing these challenges required some certain strong policies. Then capacity building program and awareness program must be get designed in order to overcome these kind of challenges. So how we can overcome this? So we can promote the digital literacy, then strengthening the cyber laws by arranging certain training and awareness program for the citizen and even for the government employees. Then implementing the citizen centric design and improve network infrastructure. By these things we could able to up to somewhat extent we could able to try to overcome the challenges that are get that this by in implementation of e-governance we are facing. A combined effort, not from the just government, but from the government as well as from the institution and the civil society, is needed to overcome this kind of challenges. So to talk about the future, as I said, AI first governance, the future of governance is the digital, and we can say that not only the digital, but very carefully I'm using the term that it's an intelligent one. Why? Because the AI is get incorporated in the e-governance. That's why the future of the governance is not only the digital, but it also the consider as an intelligent one. And that upcoming trends may include the AI first governance, that is machine learning algorithm predict the citizen need and automate the routine decision. right? So this will happen. Then the smart villages will be get established. That is digital inclusion expand beyond the cities, bringing connectivity and service to the rural communities through the innovative last mile solution. Then digital twin technology is playing a role. Then metaverses services will play also a role. The future of governance is moving towards becoming a fully digital and intelligent and the citizen centric, we can say. The government will increasingly adopt the AI first governance where automated system will be there in the decision making process, and even not only in decision making process, but by considering that decision, a service delivery process will be get enhanced. Rural development will advance through the smart villages. Then predictive policy making will help government to anticipate problem and design a solution which will be really benefit to the citizen. Emerging technologies digital twin and metaverses may enable this virtual government office concept. Overall future of e-governance will be more proactive, data driven, and technology powered will be there. So government will shift from reactive system to the anticipatory system. So by using this technology, this kind of transformation in near future is likely to be happen. So now the important thing is that in the education sector, e-government plays a major role. All we are aware of the SWAYAM and the moves, then online examination, then the smart classroom. These terms already we know very well. So these digital learning framework, AI-based assessment is possible. So e-government by making learning more accessible, transparent, and technology-driven. Platform like Swayam and MOOC provide the high quality online courses to the student, which are totally free. Just if they want to get the certificate, so they will have to pay up for that particular online examination fees itself only. So government are promoting digital learning framework to standardize the online education. Additionally, AI-based assessment help evaluate students, which will achieve the more transparency, performance more accurately, and provide personalized feedback. So overall, e-governance is enabling inclusive, modern, data-driven education system. So this how not only in delivering service to the citizen or delivering service to the businesses, it has played a major role in delivering content, a quality content to the students by providing this online type of education. So by providing this YM and offering the MOOC courses to the student. So actually, the goal of NEP 2020 emphasizes technology embedded learning as a cornerstone of this future education. So I think this is made happen with the help of this e-governance. So these are the few examples that we discuss the role of e-governance in education. But what could be the role as an educator? So I think that incorporating digital governance topic in our curricula, so making student aware about it, this can be a role. Then promoting digital literacy among students, enhancing the responsibilities, digital behavior, guiding research on digital governance, and supporting innovation through project. So I think faculty member can shape the faculty members are actually shaping the future leaders. So policy making future leaders, not only the future leader, but I could say that जिनको हम पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो क्या पता वो आगे चल के पॉलिसी मेकर भी बन सकते हैं. दे कैन बिकम द टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट ऑल्सो. सो डोंट नो ना कि हम जिनको पढ़ा रहे हैं वो आगे चल के क्या बनने वाले हैं. सो दे आर बिकमिंग द they may become the part of this particular policy making system. They may become the part of technology system which will help the concept e-governance actually happen. जो implement होने वाला है उसमें वो role भी play कर सकते हैं. So by understanding this e-governance deeply, you prepare a student to build more responsive, efficient, and inclusive government. So digital transformation governance is one of the most important development of our time, and you means all we have the opportunity to guide the next generation in what we can getting it right, and we can insist them to contribute in this. So a faculty member being a faculty member, we can make the student aware about this by discussing about the concept of e-governance in a class itself, by having a certain debate session on the e-governance or whatever the services have been provided by the government to the citizens. So we can discuss, we can have brainstorming sessions so that we can make awareness, we can make aware student about this, and we can take their views, we can record their views, and we can this how we can make them a part of this e-governance, and obviously the responsible one. So the we are the bridge between the digital policy and the digital society. So as I said, as already we discussed about what we can do as a faculty. So our influence, our responsibility, and our opportunity, we'll have to focus on this particular thing. So we can influence the student. So by discussing how, so by offering a course on e-governance and engaging this India's future to talk about this digital system, and we can take the suggestion from them. So beyond computers, digital digital governance transform how government works, shifting from hierarchical, then obtuse bureaucracy to the responsive, and we could able to say that the transparent network. So this thing can be possible. So in transforming the social contract, so faculty member, we are not passive, actually the observer, we are actually the active observer of this transformation. So we are instrumental architect. Every student we teach become a participant in this digital society. The digital literacy, we foster the critical thinking, we can engage them, we can make them think, and we can shape how the next generation build upon and improves today's digital governance system. So in our classroom and laboratories for digital citizenship, the concept whatever concept we are explaining, whatever discussions we are considering, and whatever projects we are assigning, that by means of that, just we are planting a seed that will grow into the tomorrow's innovation, policies, and the societal movement. So very carefully we will have to discuss this with the student, and we have to insist them to think about it, and we have to insist them, we have to make them aware, and we have to ask them to make aware of this in the society itself, right? Through them we can achieve this. So next to this, whatever up till now we have discussed, so here are some interactive questions I have wrote here. So only 3 questions are there. You can take just a minute to answer it. So about the personal digital engagement, which digital government service do you use most frequently? So you can answer me in a chat box, or even if you wish, you can speak out also. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my question is very simple. Which digital government service do you most frequently you are using? So,
Banking apps and all.
okay. So, see, first of all, let me explain
Phone
you.
pay and other
Huh.
things.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute. Let me explain you what is actually my objective to ask this question. Up till now, we have explored just the landscape of the digital governance, and that's why we are just taking a moment to answer such a type of questions. Um, that considering that our own relationship with this e-governance है ना, right? That's why this is only my aim. It is not just to check how much you understood or how much you are attentive in this session. It is just about a general thing, right? So as you said, banking app you are using UPI, right? So even we can think of the tax filing, right? Then a digital identity verification, even for educational portals we are using, right?
DigiLocker.
हाँ,
DigiLocker.
या डिजी लॉकर है ना, हम एजुकेशनल पोर्टल भी यूज करते हैं ना, वो क्या है, वो भी तो एक एग्जांपल ही हुआ ना.
Ma'am, in airports these days, if you have Digi Yatra, you don't
Yeah.
need to stand in those long queues.
You can
Yeah,
just
yeah, correct, correct. Yes. For domestic, it is there, no?
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
It is not for international, but if you are traveling within the India itself, so बड़ा वाला queue आपका बिल्कुल pass हो जाता है. Just you will have to that tap over there the ticket and scan the ticket, and you will be get directly you will have get directly entered into the airport, right? तो बड़ा वाला queue cancel होके आपका पूरा process seamless हो जाता है, right? So ये जो भी है, तो कितना अच्छा facility create किया है ना. बट अगर डिजी लैब अगर आप किसी ने यूज किया है, तो वहां पे भी देखो आपका आधार लिंक करना पड़ता है ना, जो अपना बायोमेट्रिक आइडेंटिटी कैरी कर रहा है आधार, विल हैव टू लिंक आर आधार कार्ड, एंड हाँ अराउंड कुछ फीस है दैट विल हैव टू पे, राइट. देन माय सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज क्रिटिकल कंसर्न. It is about this critical concern. Which challenges in digital governance concern you most? थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई कर देती हूँ. तो थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकली थिंक करके बताना है कि विच टॉपिक शुड बी इंट्रोड्यूस और व्हाट स्किल्स शुड बी डेवलप और हाउ वी कैन मेक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कंसेप्ट टेंजिबल और व्हाट पार्टनरशिप कुड बी can be done, so that I am interested. Any answer? See, there are three questions: personal digital engagement, critical concern, and educational action. So, पहला वाला तो मैंने पूछा कि जो हम यूज करते हैं वो. दूसरे वाले में है कि विच चैलेंजेस इन डिजिटल गवर्नेंस, है ना. चैलेंज क्या हो, हाँ हो सकता है
साइबर का सिक्योरिटी.
मैम, प्राइवेसी
या
कंसर्न्स की मेरा डेटा मिसयूज हो सकता है.
या और ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना, जैसे मैंने अभी टेक्नोलॉजी का, आप ऐसा भी सोच सकते हो थोड़ा कि टेक्नोलॉजी मैंने बताया कि मैसिव अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा में से अनसीन पैटर्न कैन बी गेट रिट्रीव एंड स्मार्ट डिसीजन कैन बी मेड, बट अगर एल्गोरिदम ही बायस्ड है तो हो सकता है ना. इफ एल्गोरिदम इटसेल्फ इज अ बायस, देन जो मुझे डिसीजन मिलने वाला है, जो प्रेडिक्शन मेरा आने वाला है उसमें वो डेटा में से, वो थोड़ी ना क्लियरली होगा, है ना. वहां पे थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है इफ एल्गोरिदम इज बायस्ड,
But
right?
so many, all these things, they are in English. So those people who are not knowing the language, they are not using, no, it's difficult for them.
Yes,
Language
so
barrier can
हाँ,
be a concern.
yes, yes, yes. यस, इट कैन बी अ कंसर्न. सो वही तो ना कि जो भी रीजनल लैंग्वेज है, तो उसमें भी वो ट्रांसफॉर्म होने वाला है ना. यू विल हैव टू जस्ट सेलेक्ट योर लैंग्वेज, so वो पूरा का पूरा कंटेंट जो भी है इंग्लिश वाला, आपकी रीजनल लैंग्वेज में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. सो अगर आपको पता नहीं तो लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग दैट इन प्रीवियस डेज इन यूजीसी ऑफिस में जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट था वो इंग्लिश में ही ड्राफ्ट हुआ करता था. लेकिन अगर आपने यूजीसी के अभी कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट अगर देखे होंगे, अपने साइट पे भी देखे होंगे, तो हिंदी में भी ड्राफ्ट है उनका, देखा है आपने?
नहीं नहीं देखा है अभी तक।
हाँ देखिए मैम, हिंदी में भी अभी ड्राफ्ट अवेलेबल है, जो भी वो नोटिस या फिर गाइडलाइंस प्रोवाइड करें ना, जैसे दे आर ट्राइंग टू प्रोवाइड दैट गाइडलाइन इन हिंदी ऑल्सो, राइट। जो हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा है वो हम यूज कर रहे हैं। जो अभी स्वयं कोर्स या मूक कोर्सेज का मैंने एग्जांपल दिया, सो हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी है वहां पे, जो कोर्स ऑलरेडी डिजाइन किए हैं इंग्लिश में, सो वी कैन ट्रांसलेट देम इनटू अ रीजनल लैंग्वेज, सो दैट लेट्स से मेरी सब्जेक्ट का एग्जांपल देती हूँ। लेट्स से मशीन लर्निंग पे एक कोर्स है जो कि इंग्लिश में किसी प्रोफेसर ने पढ़ाया हुआ है ऑलरेडी, वहां पे रिकॉर्डेड सेशन है। तो मशीन लर्निंग का कोर्स मैं मराठी में भी ट्रांसलेट करने का काम कर सकती हूँ, उसको हिंदी में भी कन्वर्ट कर सकती हूँ, उसको तमिल कन्नड़ा एनी लैंग्वेज में भी उसको मैं ट्रांसफर कर सकती हूँ। क्योंकि हमारा जो कहना है, एनईपी का जो कहना है कि जो मदर टंग में कंसेप्चुलाइजेशन है कंपेयर टू इंग्लिश, वो काफी उसका लेवल ज्यादा है। सो दैट्स वाई मदर टंग में एजुकेशन, ये बेटर टर्म है। ये कंसिडर किया गया है कि ये बहुत अच्छा है, इसलिए हाँ देना चाहिए बच्चों को। तो इसलिए अभी बहुत सारे कोर्सेज भी है जो हम मराठी में उसको ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं, जो एग्जिस्टिंग कोर्सेज है स्वयं और मुख्य, तो वी हैव अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ट्रांसलेट इट। सो अगर आपने देखा नहीं होगा तो आप उनके साइट पे देखिए, एनपीटीईएल स्वयं की, वहां पे है, मतलब आपको प्रोसेस है वो फॉलो करना पड़ेगा, दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी यू हैव। So, as an educationalist or teacher, we can assign a topic ऑन ई गवर्नेंस, जिसमें हम डिस्कशन कैरी आउट कर सकते हैं, बच्चों को प्रोजेक्ट दे सकते हैं, उनको थोड़ा रिसर्च करने लगा सकते हैं ना। सो ये हम चीजें तो कर ही सकते हैं। सो टू कंक्लूड माय सेशन, so up till now we have discussed that e-governance is not just about the computerization or making the services digital, but inclusiveness भी है उसमें, citizen का participation भी expected है, right? So it's about transforming governance into the something which is transparent, which is efficient, which is having an inclusive approach and citizen friendly. Right. So digital governance is the future, and as a educator, important hai, as a educator, we are the instrumental in shaping the digitally responsible citizen. हमें बच्चों को digitally responsible बनाना है, ये हमारा काम है एज ए टीचर। क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी जितनी लाइफ आसान करती है, उतना ही लाइफ को पैनिक सिचुएशन में भी डाल सकती है। सो उसको स्मार्टली कैसे यूज करना है, अप टू व्हाट एक्सटेंट यूज करना है, दैट अवेयरनेस हम बच्चों में ला सकते हैं, राइट। सो दिस आई वांट टू शेयर विथ यू ऑल। और एक अगर मतलब छोटा सा गेम है, ये फ्रॉगी जंप का है, ये मैंने बनाया। सो इसका लिंक मैं आपको चैट बॉक्स में डाल देती हूँ। आप अभी खेल सकते हो या फिर आपको बाद में अगर टाइम मिलता है तो आप वो कीजिए। ये भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग गेम है। एक फ्रॉग है, उसको सी शोर पे लेके जाना है। तो बीच में कुछ लीव्स है, राइट आंसर दिया तो फ्रॉग विल जंप फ्रॉम वन लीफ टू द अनदर, गलत आंसर दिया तो वो पानी में डूब जाएगा। ऐसा सिंपल सा इंटरेस्टिंग गेम है, आप खेल सकते हो। मैं इसको चैट विंडो में इसका लिंक मैं पेस्ट कर देती हूँ, एज वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम। सो उस गेम के लिए टाइम नहीं, इसलिए मैं उसको वहां पे डाल सकती हूँ। सो थैंक यू फॉर पेशेंटली लिसनिंग, and finally I will end my session.
Thank you,
If
ma'am.
any queries is there, so I'm ready to take your queries. If not, so let me stop my screen sharing and let me paste that game link over there. Just a moment.
Ma'am, at our college, as a
Yes,
part
sir.
of e-governance, our principal has our honorable principal has made that digital diaries and absent reports and all that things. So
Okay.
we are taking print of that again. We are signing it and uploading on the portals of our website. So how we can reduce these steps?
Sorry, sir. Please come again.
We are filling that online diaries, attendance and all
Yes,
these things.
yes, yes. Uh-huh.
But we have to take print and again we have to sign it and upload.
Okay, you have to take a print.
Print again of the digital diary. And we have to take sign of HOD and then again principal, and we have to
So,
upload.
okay, sir. So, you want to reduce that printing task. Your question is that if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am filling everything online, if I'm maintaining the transparency, then why to take the printout of it again, right? So,
Yeah.
you are interested to know about it. So, might be your institution is worrying about the loss of that data. What if the data is get lost, which is filled by the faculty member? So,
Ma'am, we are having that GoDaddy server at Mumbai as well as our
okay,
server
sir.
is there. And
Okay, your
we don't
services,
have
sir.
our server is there, and we are having another backup at Mumbai that is of
Okay.
GoDaddy.
Okay, sir. Still, you are taking the printout. So
The-
you can request your higher authority that, ki, sir, if we are maintaining, we have a best recovery system also, even if the data is get lost. So we have backup plan also with we. So why to waste the paper, na? So
Ma'am,
थोड़ा सा environment friendly काम करते हैं, ऐसा आप उनको suggest कर सकते हैं?
besides the digital signature, my principal is having for a financial task. Can we have another signature also for this digital signature for this task?
No, sir. If the financial matter is there, so having multiple signature to authorize that financial task, it's not means suggestible. So
Okay,
even
ma'am.
we cannot think of it, na? Because financial है तो only single digital signature will play a role, और उसका फिर उसमें loss हो सकता है.
No, for financial, one can misuse that signature also.
Financial also, and even in academics also, उसका misuse हो सकता है ना. To avoid that misuse, we'll have to take care of it.
Okay, ma'am.
I have pasted the link. आप enjoy करोगे, trust me. आप इसको link को copy कर लीजिए and try to play. Okay, so I'm done. Seema ma'am, I'm done with my side.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I invite Sunaina Kadle ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. A very good evening once again to everyone present here. Am I audible? Yeah. On behalf of
ma'am.
the Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University and the UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, it is indeed my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's session of our refresher course. First and foremost, I express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Yogita Shivajirao Patil, for delivering an enriching session. Ma'am, your insights, depth of knowledge, and stimulating presentation has truly added immense value to this course. We are grateful for the time and the effort you invested in being with us. We are fortunate to have the support of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University and UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, whose vision and encouragement to make such academic endeavors possible. I would also like to extend sincere thanks to our dedicated course coordinator, Dr. Beena Sengar, and Dr. Rafi, Dr. Amol, and entire team for their continuous guidance, meticulous planning, and tireless efforts have ensured the smooth and successful conduct of these sections. We deeply appreciate your commitment. Special thanks to Dr. Geeta Dhage for her exceptional coordination. Her effort has kept our group working smoothly. A special word of appreciation goes to all my fellow participants for the active involvement and interaction that made this section truly meaningful. Finally, I thank everyone who worked behind the scenes, technical and administrative support staff, and all those who contributed in any way to make today's session successful. Once again, thank you everyone. Wishing everyone continued learning and success. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good
Thank
night.
you, madam. You have given
Thank you,
an
ma'am.
elaborate presentation on the e-governance.
Thank you, ma'am.
And it is
Insightful one.
really useful. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.